Hello, everybody. How are we? How you doing? Happy Friday. For the last time, hello. Let's crack a beer before we get into all of that. Let's crack a beer open. I've got an Augustina Dunkel beer chilling in my fridge freezer thingy jobby. Everyone had a good week. Haven't been on for a little while. 3 weeks, 4 weeks. A couple of weekends ago, I was in Dublin. That was really good. I think weekend before that. Weekend maybe even before that, that was the launch of the Horsebox bar that me and my friend have got going on. And yeah, I've just been busy guy, doing X, Y, and Z. But yeah, look at that beautiful deep copper coloured Dunkel beer from Augustina. There you go. That's the one there. Let me see if I can. I did start putting. Let me see if I can just. So if it's there, yeah, you might end up seeing the bottle. Ah, it's pretty blurry. Let's forget that. Let's scrap that. It worked a little while ago. But yeah, how's everybody getting on? Yeah, busy week, cold week. Been a bit ill actually as well. Bit rank. Can't taste as much as I want to, but what I taste, it's quite good. Let's get some early comments then. Stuart Guest, good afternoon. Happy Friday. Oh, Friday again. Yeah, tell me about it. Weeks are rattling by. Mark Jones Gibbon, how you doing, my man? Hello, everybody. Brad Evans, if this really is the end, thanks for the videos and live streams, mate. Been a pleasure having a beer with you virtually. Love to you and the family. It is the end, mate. I'll explain the reasons why. And 111 says the end. Yeah. Yeah, we'll go into that in a little while. Give people 15, 20 minutes, half an hour to jump in, and we'll sort of go through a few little bits. It's all good though. It's all progress. It's nothing bad. It's yeah, it's been bloody freezing, mate. Yeah, tell me about it. What do you do for a living, Mark? You're not a driver, are you? Or are you? I can never remember. But yeah, what's been happening? What has been happening? What hasn't been happening? Horsebox bar, done a couple of events now. That's gone really well. I've not uploaded anything over the past past month really. I've been really bad with it. Channel wise, not a lot. Kind of wondering, kind of going through a few things, trying to see if it's really, sort of, I don't know. I've put so much effort into this channel over the past year and a bit. It's been like a proper considered decision, if you know what I mean, because I do enjoy it, and this is probably the bit of the channel I enjoy the most, coming on having a beer with you guys on a Friday. But yeah, I think times have changed for me personally, with like my daughter growing up and work and health wise as well. Probably go into that in a little while. I'm healthy. It's fine. It's just sort of like family stuff and like early warnings and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll kind of go through that in a little while. Sobieski, how you doing, my man? Happy Friday. Sorry to see you leave YouTube, mate. Yeah, I'll be gutted to go, mate. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'll be gutted to go, but it's gonna be for the best in a lot of different ways, I think. Joey Squirto Generous, hello, all the sexy mother truckers in the chat and on the screen. Thank you, my man. You are a driver, yeah. I work for a big national bread company. Oh, very nice. You deliver out my way often, don't you? You deliver up from memory. I wish I could taste more. I'm just losing so much flavour out of this beer, which I know would be amazing if I wasn't feeling pretty rubbish. Allied Biscuit. Joey doing Joey things. But yeah, how have you guys been? Everyone all right? Any beery news or anything, mate? Like anything going on? Like, it's all sort of very, very, very quiet and boring at the moment, isn't it? There's nothing really going on. Brad Evans says, tell me about it, mate. My little one is growing up so fast. She'll be 2 next month. It's flown, mate. That's bonkers. That's 2 years ago. Flipping heck. I think I just started YouTube because my daughter was born in October. I started in November, and I feel like we met a couple of times, Brad, like this, and then you had to go. Then you went sort of not away, but you went off the lives and videos for a little while. But yeah, I remember your little ones right behind mine. Joey says going to LA Sunday just for the day. Oh, hello, mate. You Americans can do that, can't you? You can just piss off to LA. But you're saying that from you, Joey. That's still a jaunt. That's still going to be what, a good 4-hour flight from Ohio. But at least you can legally do your recreational thing over there. You can in LA, can't you? I think you can. Winner beer reviews. Hello, Thomas. He says, hello, you incredible people in the square. Mark Jones is South Wales, mate, and part of Southwest England. Fair dues. I thought you'd come out my way a couple of times and message me on Instagram. It's a 28-hour day total. Is that for a podcast or is that for work? What's that for, mate? But yeah, yeah, this is, to be honest, I've been on to sort of like the reasons why I'm calling it a day. It's a mixture of things, really. I think what really kickstarted it was about 8 weeks ago. I was just like, I'm so not bothered about beer anymore. Like, I'd still drink it recreationally, and I still enjoy the taste and everything like that. But that kind of passion in me for beer had just gone. I think the craft beer bubble has somewhat burst for me, and I just don't get excited about beer anymore. And the German, I kind of had 9 months on the German stuff, and as brilliant as that is, that's a very, very sort of narrow window, if you know what I mean. Obviously, when sort of during COVID, not post-COVID, there was a lot of sort of new styles coming out. There was so many sort of sub-styles in the IPAs and the pale sort of area, and then so many sub-styles of like stouts and things like that. There was so much going on that it was just like, oh my God, you didn't know where to look. It was incredible. And then I got into the German stuff, which was amazing. I drank a lot of German beer throughout the summer. And I kind of, I wouldn't say I drunk myself out because it makes me sound like I'm a pisshead, but I'm far from it. But I kind of like crammed so much of that German stuff in that, I don't know, as of 6 weeks ago, I was like, I just don't want to, I've got no enthusiasm for it anymore. There's a couple of other things as well. Like, there was one evening where I filmed 3 beer reviews back to back. And like, my daughter's now at an age when, so I film my beer reviews after work. My daughter gets in from nursery probably around the same time, maybe like half an hour after me generally. And, you know, I do my beer videos in one take. And it's like, she came in the front door calling daddy, daddy. And I was just like doing a beer review, and I had to film for 10 minutes before I went down to see her. And I don't know, the channel just doesn't fit in a lot of ways now into my life. And time is a big thing as well. Like, I'm busy doing lots and lots of other different things. And time is a big one because I want to do it well. And if I don't dedicate the time, I won't do it well. There's the health factor, which I mentioned earlier. Like, some of you will know, in the summer, my dad had a big stroke in the summer. And he's not a big guy. He's far from it, actually. I'm probably bigger than him. But there was a lot of like health stuff that came up about that. And it basically turns out there's like this hereditary heart problem in my dad's side of the family. So my dad's dad died of a heart attack. My dad had a heart attack 15 years ago and now had a stroke. And I'm just like, I've never, honestly, been straight up, I've never been like heavier than I am now. I was 16 and a half stone. I've lost half a stone in 3 weeks. And it's just like all these contributing factors mean that just drinking beer in one of my spare bedrooms it's just not right anymore. I've spoken a lot to like John and Crummy, John from Lords, sort of Nerd in Motion now, and Crummy, and just sort of explain the reasons why, and they were like, totally understand. And I thought about doing another YouTube channel because I got, some of you might know, I've got a couple of classic cars, one being a Mark 1 Escort. I was thinking about, do I do a car channel called Mark 1 Mark? And it's like, it's still the time factor. Okay, like the health factor doesn't matter, and I don't know. I probably won't, to be honest. Now I'm kind of done with YouTube. I'm not. I've never been like a fame hungry person. It's not like I see YouTube as a route to fame or nothing like that. It's literally a hobby. But if you haven't got the time, you can't do your hobbies, and I just don't have the time at the moment. What this going to happen for this channel? Honestly, I'm probably not going to delete it. I think I'd be really silly to delete it. It's probably just going to sit there dormant for a little while. The channel. Literally, this is the last video that's going to be on the channel as an upload. The last beer review being from Stroud, the white stouts from Stroud. That was pretty decent actually. But yeah, it kind of ends here. So this is really like the last drink with you guys, really. I might log on to a live or two if John or Crummy does a live. I might pop in because that's one thing I will miss because they are like proper personal friends of mine. Like I've stayed at their houses and been on short breaks with them and stuff, and it's like they are proper dear friends of mine. So I might pop on for the odd beer, but yeah, as far as like the Craft Beer Hub channel goes, this is kind of it. Yeah, mad. I've been kind of thinking about it for a while, and I'm kind of at peace with it. Do you know what I mean? Sorry for rambling on, but I'm kind of at peace with it now. When I sort of decided that I was going to stop, and I was like, oh, do I not? I do, because I do really genuinely quite enjoy it when it's really good. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's run its course. Let's get some comments. Sorry for rambling on, guys. Joey says, we're flying out Sunday morning at 7 and get back the next morning at 9. Okay, that's pretty decent. Oh, nice. He's watching the NFL match, the Browns at the Rams, the LA Rams, yeah. Stuart, guess when's the wine channel started? That's the last thing I bloody need, Stuart, I can tell you that. Yeah, beer or nothing for me. I've never really been a big spirit drinker. I could probably do like a rum. I'd be up for like doing something with rum. Well, I say that. That's a lie. The only real spirit I drink is rum, and I do enjoy a rum. But no, drinking alcohol on the internet is probably going to be a small part of my history now, mate. Hey, Kevin, how you doing? Just put a tactical pause on the channel operations. Yeah, I'll see where I am. I'm just. A few things have happened this year. One, my daughter growing up. Two, my dad's massive health scare and how the hereditary things now impacted like me and my decision making. I don't know if I got the heart problem. I had an ECG probably 9 months ago, and they said I was absolutely fine, like full MOT, because I was aware of it. So I kind of have an MOT every year, if you know what I mean. And they said that everything was fine, but do you know what I mean? It's like I just don't want to be. I don't want to push my luck and push my body too far. So I just need to lose a bit of weight. I've lost half a stone already, which is really good because I've just not been drinking beer. I've lost half a stone already. I'm feeling really good about it, and yeah, just don't know. I let myself go after COVID. If I'm entirely honest, COVID hit me like a ton of bricks. So I'm a very, very social person. And basically drinking on Zoom was about the only way for me to socialize properly. And I just let myself go a lot. I was probably 14 stone before COVID. So you think since COVID, I like put on 2.5 stone. And that's not good, especially for someone in my position, which, you know, I could have this horrible heart problem. Like, yeah, young people, basically men on my dad's side of the family don't survive very long. Due to heart issues. So I just want to make sure that I'm around for my daughter and my wife for as long as I can be. So Bieski, your health is far more important than a YouTube channel, particularly when you have a young family that needs you. Good luck, brother. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you. Mate, thank you for being so supportive. And thank everybody for being so supportive. Yeah, I probably couldn't sum it up better, to be honest. It has been a lot of fun. But yeah, people need me. I'm not sort of like self-serve, because I don't know, it's not like a self-serving environment anymore, is it? I've got other people that rely on me. Joey for the super chat, thank you, mate. $4.20, thank you, of course. $4.20. It's been an honor serving with you, mate. Thank you very much, and thank you for all your support, Joey. I don't think I've ever done a live where you've not been in it. So yeah, thank you, mate. Kev says, can we send you links? If you can join, great. If not, no worries. I'm not saying I won't come on somebody else's live from time to time and have a beer and say hello. It's just me calling it a day, really. But yeah, absolutely. Sharky says LA police will be out in full force Sunday. They're going to need to be, I think, especially if the Browns lose. Joey going all that way. Stuntman Steve, sorry to see you leave, mate. It's been a pleasure knowing you, sir. All the best. Likewise to you, mate. I know you've taken some time away and stuff like that, so you know probably, what it's like. Joey's laughing at Shark. Steve says, Trilby's asked why you leaving, mate. Yeah, time. Enthusiasm for beer has like hit the floor, and it's been on the floor for a while. Bit of health in there as well. I want to lose a bit of weight. Hereditary heart problems on my dad's side of the family, that sort of stuff. There's just like a lot of things that like club together. Like this room is like pretty much dominated by this YouTube setup. I'm not going to show you around because it's an absolute tip, but you know, we get basically another room back in the house, which is fantastic. So, you know, there's a lot of reasons. Brad says, well, last night was eventful. Went to Villa versus Legia. 3 police set on fire and a poor police dog lost its life due to the away fans. Was carnage. Yeah, Polish hooliganism is like savage, isn't it? Do you remember when they done that Euros in Ukraine and Poland? When was that? 2016 or something? And they were like training in like bombed out buildings, like disused buildings in Ukraine and Poland, like training street fighting, absolutely savage. Joey, stay away from the dogs at Sophie. They're everywhere, I think. Brad Evans, other than that, been a normal week. He says, I'll see you in a bit, Stuntman Steve. Joey says, I've walked right past them dogs at many airports. Mark Jones Giver says, don't delete it, mate. It doesn't fit right now, but you never know what the future holds. Without going into loads of detail, I'm speaking from experience. Yeah. I think that's part of the reason. That's part of the reason why. And it's like, when you've got no enthusiasm for it, like there was literally a day the other day, it was that same day I talked about. It was the last time I actually filmed any beer reviews. I was like ramming beer down my throat and trying to make it look like I was enjoying it. It's the first time I've ever had that where I was like, normally I'm excited to review a beer, and I set the GoPro up and I was only doing it because I hadn't uploaded in flipping ages. And I was like, right, I need to get some of these beers out because like Stroud Brewery sent me some and I'd like drag my heels with them a little bit. So apologies if anyone's from Stroud's watching, but fantastic beers, by the way. And I just like had to force it down my neck. And when you add in everything else that's on the back of it, it's like, it was probably at that moment where I thought, yeah, this is the end. This is it now. Stevens Plumhole. Jack Bandit. How you doing, mate? Good to see effects coming in, Jack. Sharky says, Mark, it's been a great ride. I hope to see you on other lives on occasion to keep us updated on how you're doing. Yeah, I'll be dipping in and out. I probably will like log into other things on like my YouTube channel and stuff to say hello to like, because I do generally have loads of friends in YouTube. Some I've met personally, some are just through the screen, but yeah, I won't be going totally missing. It's just, I just won't be doing what I used to do. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm probably gonna go on till about probably 6, half 6, something like that. Just wait for a few more people to come in. I think John might be coming in a bit. Hi, darling girl. Do you want to say hello? Yeah. Yeah, come on then. Well, you've got tomato soup all around your mouth, haven't you? Say hello. Cheers. Cheers. Good girl. Who's that? Say.
Hello.
Hi-oh. Say, hi, Luke.
Hello, Luke.
Good girl. Say, hello, Sharky.
Hello, Sharky.
Good girl. Say, hello, Disco.
Hello.
Say, hi, Jack Bandit.
Hello. Hello.
Say, hi, Joey.
Hello.
Yeah. Right, off you toodle then. Good girl. Mind yourself. Good girl. There we go. Does this mean Philby will never get a craft beer hub tea, mate? They are limited edition, never to be printed again. I do have some spares if you want one. I've got some spares that I don't wear anymore. Disco said, I hear what you're saying, Mark. You've got to do what's best for you. All the best, and hope to enjoy beer again soon. It's been fun. Cheers. Yeah, Disco. great to finally meet you at GBBF in the summer. But yeah, thank you, mate. And thank you for all the support because, like many of the guys on here, I don't think I've ever done live where you've not been in. So he said, Ohio. Hello, Bumble. She definitely takes after her mum. What with food around her mouth. Hey, see what they're saying about you? Brad Evans says definitely takes after her mum with ketchup with soup around her mouth. Mm-hmm. You might have picked that up on the microphone. Sharky says hello. Delicious. Oh, says Joey. Yeah, she's such a good little girl. She's gorgeous. Mark Jones says hello to Sophie. Sobieski, she's a pretty little thing. Thank you, mate. She must take after her mum. Hey, I'll tell you what, April punching. Definitely not. I'm the one punching. I can tell you that. Joey says, I miss my girls that young. They're teenage and 20 something. Honestly, this is like every day that goes by and she gets like a little bit older and like, then she starts to like wind me up a little bit. She started to like say things to me, like to wind me up and like playing games and stuff. And I'm just like, this is just the best because I'm such a playful person. So, yeah, she's brilliant. To be fair, thank you, Disco. Jack Bannis is close enough. It's been fun to see a peek into your beer journey and share a few laughs. Absolutely, mate. It really, really has been. I mean, I've got so many brilliant memories on YouTube. I mean, I started it pretty much to like. I started as a social outlet. Like I used to comment a lot on. I used to comment a lot on Untapped and stuff, and I used to watch Simon and I used to watch Simon. Then obviously through YouTube, I met Paul and Crummy and John, but I used to watch Simon and all the rest of it, and it was like, I think I could probably do this. And some of you might not know, I've always got the can here because it's the beer that pretty much made me start YouTube. Do you remember? Some of you might remember John from Lords. He was doing a competition for a beer monster machine. I can't remember who won, but second prize was a crate of the brand new Baller Mountain IPA, and I won second prize, or I got second place in the draw. So John invited me on his YouTube live, and I was on my phone. We were trying to wear headphones, and because I didn't have a setup like this at the time. And John, after, he was like, "You should really do YouTube." And I was like, "It's funny you should say that because I did have a YouTube channel before where I used to just like post holiday videos and stuff." I was like, "I really fancy doing it." And I was like, "If I do it, will you help me?" And he was like, "Absolutely." So John helped me navigate sort of different bits of YouTube and whatever else. And it was like, yeah, that's how it all started. So Sharky says there was a good reason to step away from YouTube. Absolutely, yeah. I think it's just time. It's just time. I've had a really good laugh. My enthusiasm's on the floor for beer in general. If I'm honest, yeah. There's a lot of things. Ricky Mills, howdy, Mark. How you doing, Ricky? I saw Ricky last night. Mark Jones Gibbon, that minute or so there explains everything, mate. She's a little gem, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's don't know. It's because the things with YouTube and the things with YouTube, it's not just the filming. You got the uploading. You got to sit in front of the laptop. You've got to like upload all your files. That takes probably, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Then you've got to edit it. That's another 15-20 minutes. And then you've got to render it. And then you've got to make it. Each video is probably like over an hour of like effort between actually filming it and uploading it and getting it live. And then there's like replying to the comments and everything like that, which is, I'm making it sound arduous, but it does become arduous if you've lost that enthusiasm. And I'm an all or nothing person, and yeah, I don't know. I just want to spend time with my daughter now. You know, I'm busy in some other things. A few different things have changed for me, like in my sort of personal / like business life with the horse box and like a couple of other bits. And it's like my time is now more precious than ever, and I just want to spend time with my daughter. And the easiest thing to cut off is YouTube. Scott Wonders World, how you doing, Scott? All the best, Mark. Another one bites dust, sadly. Yeah, I saw Baz went a little while ago, didn't he? Is what it is, mate. New beginnings, I suppose. Mark Jones Gibbon, we first chatted on Simon's live, and Baller is absolutely banging. I mean, Simon's live, yeah, that's a while ago. And Baller, yeah, I did enjoy that Baller. But it was quite funny, actually. I had a crate of about 12. I gave away about 4 or 5 to some beery friends that I've got over here in Norfolk. And actually, by the time because I always wanted to do my videos in one take, because number one, I didn't want to do the editing or try to limit the editing, and two, I feel it comes across a bit better if it's in one take. And I've done about 8 cans. I've done about 8 cans because I kept mucking up, and then in the end, I was like, "Sod it, it's just have to go out." And then, yeah, mucking up's been part of the channel. Really, I sort of it's all there for everything to see. All my mistakes are there for everyone to see. I don't really mind. I get things wrong. I used to get things wrong when I review beer. So, yeah. Joey says the UK is such a sweet audience. Your island, chain, and empire is all right. You're not allowed to talk about the empire anymore, mate. That'll get you banned. But yeah, the UK audience is awesome. Like proper beer drinking, beer enthusiasts. Kind of not afraid to get nerdy about it either. Audience, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it's been good. I've made a lot of friends. I probably will change my Instagram over to just like my personal one. So if anyone wants to go over to, it's currently at the Craft Beer Hub still. I'll probably just change that over to my personal one and just start uploading some personal stuff. Or probably not upload at all and just watch everybody else. That's kind of what I do. See, I haven't uploaded an Instagram for God knows how long. It's all been neglected for other reasons. Yeah. Anyway, what's everybody drinking? I'm getting to the end of this Dunkel beer from Augustine. I wish I wasn't so ill, and I wish I could properly taste it. I'm kind of thinking I'm just going to go on to some like cheap rubbish now because I can't taste it anyway. But then there's that thing of me if I do finish, well, I say if I do, well, like, I'm worried that when I finish the video, my last beer on my YouTube channel might be a Estrella or something. That's probably not a good way to go. But yeah, what we got in there? There's so many good beers. I've got so many good beers here. Like Founders, there's so much stuff that I just never got around to drinking. What's that? A Baltic Porter. Jesus, I got that like the last Brew London. That is probably long gone now. Oh no, it's not. Best before. Is that going to focus? 2024. So I better drink that at some point. That'll be a Christmas. Might be a Christmas Day beer, that one. But yeah, what we got in here? I'll tell you what, I'll have a bit of that. Stroud Brewery. They sent me a couple of beers actually a few weeks ago. And this looked quite good. Well, it's probably not a beer for now. It's only 2 point something, isn't it? This one? 2.6. Maybe not that one for now. I don't know what to drink. So I did have that next up, a Colonel Azaka Pale Ale, but truth be told, look at the sediment in that. Can you see that? Look at that. Truth be told, I can't taste a thing, and I don't want to burn good beer if I can't bloody taste it. That's a Verdant Double IPA. I won't be drinking that. Stroud IPA. What's that other Stroud one? What's the lower ABV of these Stroud ones? Excuse me. It's going to be that one, isn't it? What's that? Stroud Pale Ale Hop Drop. That sounds quite good. That'll be the next one. But yeah, so nobody else drinking. No mentions of any beers. Am I the only one? My mate's I've got to be half all right by the time I finish the stream because my mate's mum, she's just opened a pub in Stradbroke. It's Stradbroke, called the Ivy, and I advised her on what beers to get, and she's gone for like all proper decent local stuff. So, which is a right result because, I mean, I think it's a good move anyway, rather than doing the whole Foster's Peroni Madry thing. Because I think that's what I said to them initially. I said, "Let me know your opinions on this." I said to them initially, I said, if you do that, you're competing with every other pub. Whereas if you become like a bit of a beer destination and you buy local, then you kind of give yourself a bit of a unique selling point. That's kind of what we've done with the horse box. The whole thing with the horse box is like buying the local stuff, the high quality stuff, and the local stuff's often about 30% cheaper than the equivalent Peroni, Madry, Stella sort of stuff. So yeah, that's what they're going to do. Yes, you need to have one last great beer before you end. I know. I might work you, Yahoo. I know you are. Sobieski says it's your last. If it's your last live stream, best to drink everything in the fridge, mate. Have you seen my fridge? I'd be absolutely hammered. This box is this box here. You can't really. Yeah, I'll lift it up. That box there. That's basically all imperial stouts. Yeah, it's quite a heavy box in there. You got put like this porter from 6.5% porter. Triple Carmelays, got a star anise, some plum, cognac and bourbon barrel aged beer from Vibrant Forest. Got a lot in there. Sobieski says, drinking a Beavertown neck oil. Cheers. I had a pint of neck oil the other day and I actually enjoyed it. Whether it was because I hadn't had a neck oil in a little while, or has that only just started flashing, these lights? Let's turn these down. Yeah, I had a neck oil the other day. I quite enjoyed it, which was a shock because I walked into this bar and I was like, "Oh, here we go." It was like obviously Heineken was in there, Amstel and all the rest of it. And I was like, oh, "Neck oil, please." And I tasted it. I was like, "You know what? This isn't that bad." Joey says National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation debuted 34 years ago today. I have never seen it, mate. I'm horrendous with movies. Only now am I doing the Harry Potter thing. I'd only ever seen Harry Potter. It's not the Stone Chamber, is it? Chamber of No. Philosopher's Stone. Only recently have I seen whatever the second one was. Is that the Chamber of Secrets? Or yeah, only recently. I'm horrendous with movies. I'm pretty good at quizzes. Generally, like pub quizzes, I'm all right at. I fancy myself, but movies, count me out. I'm out. Craig H. Whoa, what's going on? Last ever, yeah, mate. This is the last ever video on the channel, I suppose. Yeah, we'll call it a day, mate. We'll go through. We'll when a few more new people come in, we'll go through it again. But yeah, calling it a day. Stuart Guest says day one of the Advent calendar, and I've got a tiny Rebel Bubbles. Oh, what's that beer, mate? They're not. They're next after the California Pale I'm on. Bubbles by Tiny Rebel. I can't think of what that is. At all. Joey says I still haven't seen any Harry Potter, mate. Honestly, I've never seen a Lord of the Rings, never seen a Die Hard, never seen a Batman. No, that's a lie. I saw half of the Heath Ledger one. Yeah, generally, I'm awful. Paul's Beer Reviews, how you doing, mate? Mark, you absolute legend. End of an era, mate, and the start of another. Absolutely. See you down the road for one. Absolutely, mate. I think we've got a little group chat going, haven't we? And hopefully we can meet up for those beers over a weekend. All of us, that'd be amazing. Sam Smalley, cheers, Mark Brothers. Cheers, Sam. Thanks for coming in again, mate. Absolute legend down there in Australia. Can't taste a thing because I'm ill. This Augustina Dunkel, I know, would be absolutely amazing, but I really can't taste much. Have you seen Star Wars? No. Never seen a Star Wars. Not seen a Star Trek. Yeah, I'm shocking with movies. I just don't watch them. There is a bald, sexy man, and it's not John, and it's not Grammy. It's the other one. It's Chris.
Hi, all right. How are you?
Not bad, mate, you?
Yeah, good, mate. I hope my internet connection is okay. I've had nightmares.
Yeah, it's a little bit kind of 1994 CCTV style.
I might have to switch to my phone. We'll see how it goes. I've had nightmares. We've had engineers out who claim it's now faster than it's ever been, which is just nonsense. It's just such nonsense. So sometimes it works better on my phone than it does the laptop. So we'll see how it goes. I'll just try not to move.
Are you on the beers yet, mate?
I'm just about to open a beer, and it's a. I don't know. You got the light on that, haven't you?
Yeah. Oh, is this the Czech Zuba rather than the Polish one?
It absolutely is the Czech Zuba. Yeah, Zuba Gold. I had another one the other day called a Zuba 11, and that was okay. But yeah, it is the Czech Zuba. So yeah, there's Polish Zuba and Czech Zuba. I
Yeah, I'm
think it's
trying to think.
pronounced Zuba.
Is the normal Zuba, or say the normal one, is the Polish one the green bottle with the buffalo on it?
That's the one, the bison.
Oh, the bison, that's it.
Yeah.
Yes, I do know the beer. Sam Smalley says, you sound like you're into movies as much as me. I'm a bit the same. Plenty of blockbusters I haven't seen. I don't really care. No, honestly, I get obliterated by my mates when it comes to movies. I mean, I've not seen any of the biggest movie franchises in the world. I've not seen them. Never seen Avatar. Never seen, like I say, Lord of the Rings. They're like Die Hard, Rocky. Never seen a Rocky film.
What? How? What?
Honestly,
we can't be friends anymore.
Honestly, mate. Honestly, you could do your top 10 favorite movies, and I'd have probably seen one or two of them, and that's it.
Really?
Yeah. I've got the I've just got this like borderline ADHD thing where I can't just sit still for 5 minutes and watch an hour's worth of a movie, or I'm just like, yeah, switch off. Terrible, isn't it? Stuart Guest says Tiny Rebel Bubbles is a 6.2% ABV mango and mandarin IPA. Did you get the Tiny Rebel Advent Calendar by any chance, Stuart?
I thought that was a bit pants, that mango and mandarin Tiny Rebel, but then I'm not a fan of Tiny Rebel, as most people know. But yeah, I thought that was pretty poor.
Did you get an Advent Calendar, Chris? Did you go down that road this year?
No, I've never done it. I've never gone down that road. I'd rather go out and just buy myself a load of beers anyway.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's a difficult one because I think I buy myself beers anyway. Rachel doesn't really drink. Well, Rachel just doesn't drink beer, so it'd be pointless saying to her, "Can you go out and buy me some beers for Christmas?"
Yeah.
So I just buy my own, and it's the way I've always been. I just buy what I want when I need it, and Christmas beers. I think a lot of the Christmas ales that are UK branded, a lot of them you could call them an Easter beer or a summer beer. You just change the label. So yeah, I don't bother with Advent calendars. I'd rather go and buy what I want to buy rather than someone tell me.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think I was always of that mindset especially when it came to like the Beer 52 boxes and Flavorly and things like that. I thought I don't need to pay someone to curate my beer, if you know what I mean, without sounding like a snob.
No, that's right. I don't think it's being snobby. I just think it's just buying what you want to buy. And I mean, yeah, you could go down the route of, it'd be a surprise. And yeah, it may be a surprise, but there may be a lot of beers that just don't suit your style. Or, that's the issue I have with them. I think there could be a load of beers in there that are just not my style. It doesn't mean they're bad beers. They're just not my type of beer. So I'd rather go and buy what I want to buy.
Yeah, I had that last year because for the first time, I'd done a proper craft beer advent calendar last year. I've done the Trembling Madness one. And probably, I think two of the first 5 were sours and they were crap. Yeah. And I was like, what have I bought here? And even some of the big hitters they put in the box, they put in this Amundsen Christmas Imperial Stout, Christmas pie, cinnamon, blah, 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 pastry, Cinnabon. Was it a Cinnabon Stout or something? I can't remember. And it was absolutely dreadful. It was just a big, thick, sticky, sweet mess.
Yeah.
And I was like, but then again, there was a couple in there where I was like, bloody hell, this is good. Like I had the Schwarzbock from St. Mars up in Sheffield. And that was like insane, like new brewery to me. I remember pulling it out of the box being like, St. Mars of the desert, what the hell is this? And it turns out like I've had a few beers from them since. They're just like insane European style beer producer. So
yeah, no, right, St. Mars. I've had a few of their beers and have quite enjoyed them. But as we kind of discussing in chat this week, I'm just into the German stuff and just looking at decent Czech beers, decent German lagers. I've just gone full circle back to lager, but seeking out better lagers.
Yeah, I think it's mental. Like I went to Beautiful Beers the other day, which is in Bury St Edmunds, and I bought. Did I keep the bottle? I might have chucked it. I bought. No, I don't know where it is. I bought. It was the Jahrhundert beer from Ainger or Iinga, and it
Mm.
cost me £3.20, I believe. I've got the receipt here. It cost me £3.40, sorry. And it was genuinely one of the best beers I've ever had. Like, in terms of absolute quality, it was just like, my word. And it was a lager. And it cost £3.40. So I'm drinking like one of the best lagers I've ever had for £3.40. If you want one of the best craft beers you're ever going to have, you got to expect to pay 7, 8, 9 quid.
Well, exactly. And most of pretty much 99% of, the good quality German lagers, whilst they're all around that kind of 340, 350, 370 mark, they're also 500ml bottles, which is just win-win. So that's generally what I'm drinking at the moment. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you. And obviously, Beers of Europe as well. Like, having Beers of Europe do what they do, and I mean, you're buying. I think I was ordering like a case of like 20 beers, and it would cost me like, it was like, what was it? 20 beers, like less than 50 quid, and then the beers would float anywhere between sort of £2.50 to £3, like for a Weissstefano or a what was the other bit, like Koenig? There's a brew called Koenig that I really got into, and because craft beer has got terrible when you compare it to where it was. Like, the standards is awful, and it's like I'm not willing to roll the dice anymore on £5, £6, £7 cans and be disappointed.
No, I completely agree, and I think a lot of it comes down to a lot of rising costs for UK breweries with the cost of ingredients, the cost of electric, the cost of everything else. So naturally, the quality of the beer is going to drop, but the price hasn't. And that, when you think back 2-3 years ago, a 7-can craft beer was just absolutely stunning. A 7-can craft beer now isn't what it was 3 years ago. And I don't think it's because brewers are necessarily trying to rip us off. I just think it's a massive increase in costs, and they just can't maintain that standard, which, again, in times when times are difficult, people are a bit hard on money. I think that's why more people are kind of switching to German beers.
Yeah, I agree. I think you guarantee quality, aren't you? And these aren't breweries that popped up four years ago. These are breweries that have been doing it for 300-400 years. So
exactly
you can kind of know you're going to get quality. Right, let's get some comments. Paul Greenwood, no way is this the end of one of the Sexy Vikings. Sad day, but fair play, fella. You got to do what you got to do. Thank you, mate. It's just one of them things. Sharky says, do I need to pay for my outstanding car park fees before you win? No, they're on the house, mate. Them ones. They're on the house. Bloody computer crashed. Having a couple of Vorsteiner tonight, says Mark Jones Gibbon. Nothing too hoppy.
Decent beer.
I think to be honest, if you're pulling out Warsteiners out your fridge, you've got to be happy. Mark is going to see Trolls because of his daughter. Yeah, it's true. I'm going to get that. Well, we're probably going to start all the cinema trips soon, aren't we? If she's 2, she'll watch. She'll watch sort of like half a film now, half an hour to 45 minutes, I'd say. She'll sort of do that, and but not quite a full film just yet. Stuart Guest, my wife put it together for me. Oh, nice. See, that's a really good way of doing it, that. If your wife's got a bit of beer knowledge and she knows what you like, that is a really good way of doing it. They're from all over, not just Tony Rebel. Brilliant. Mark John Gibbons says, Tony Rebel can still make good beer. They do a red ale called Kutch. Yeah, which I thought was lovely. I had Kutch about 6 months ago on cask, and it was like pretty decent. And I was like, just checking, is that a Tiny Rebel logo on that pump clip?
I still don't mind Club Tropica. I still think that's reasonable. But I think Tiny Rebel just went so adjunct heavy on absolutely everything and just came up with just the most craziest ideas that it just didn't even feel like you were drinking a beer. It just got a bit poor. They've got they know how to do it. It's the same with Brewdog. They know how to brew it. But I think they've just got carried away with themselves with all kind of themed beers, and it just got too much for me with Tiny Rebel.
Yeah, definitely. I think the latest to go for me were Northern Monk. I thought that was a really, really sad day when I say sad day, it's been a sad 6 months of Northern Monk, really. Seeing the level that they've stooped to just to sell beer. I understand as well, because they've got bills to pay, their staff have got mortgages to pay and everything. I do understand it to a certain degree, but it's just sad. It's really sad because I did did sort of look up to those guys a little bit.
Yeah.
Stuart Guest agreed. My wife picked the beers and put it together for me, as I'm not a fan of some styles. Yeah, fair play. It's right. I mean, yeah. Moses says, "Hi guys, sorry, Raggy's first Advent calendar day. What's happening? Who's saying goodbye? Sorry that you're probably repeating yourself. I'll repeat myself because I know there's a few new people in. This is the last video upload on this channel. I'm stepping back basically because my enthusiasm for beer, as Chris knows, because we've been talking about it with Chris, it is like on the deck. Added to that, I want to lose a bit of weight, and standing in your room drinking copious amounts of beer doesn't lend itself to that. And the reason I want to do that is because some of you know my dad had a stroke in the summer, and it turns out there's like a hereditary heart problem on my dad's side of the family. And although I think I'm okay because I had an ECG about 9 months ago, I want to be careful, and I don't want it to be too late because I've got people that rely on me now. Plus, there's the time element. The bar's getting up and running, the events are coming in, and I just want to spend time with my daughter. And it's just the most disposable thing that I've got that consumes my time is YouTube. So it's got to go. It's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. Il Corvo. Yeah, this is a good point. When it gets to December, I pivot to Belgian dark beers and the likes.
Yeah.
I've been so out of the Belgian loop for a long time.
I've got a couple of Belgian beers in at the minute, which will I be reviewing them? Hello. Perfect draft started to announce itself. I don't know why I'm doing that. I do it this time of year. I mean, I like dark ales all throughout the year, but at Christmas there is just something special about coming in from the cold and cracking open a good high ABV dark Belgian beer. It's such a lovely feeling. So I've got a couple in that I probably won't review, but yeah, there is something about dark ales at this time of year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the last Belgian beer I had, it was probably getting on for a year ago. I was in a pub called the Belgian Monk, which is in Norwich, and it specialises only in Belgian beer. There's something like 20 on draft. It's quite mental. And I had the Delirium Christmas beer, and that was like that was a blooming, like you say, a really crisp, bitey Saturday evening in Norwich, frost on the floor, and to drink that, it was just like went hand in hand. Mark Jones says, I'm lucky when it comes to quality craft at a good price, living in the same time as Grey Trees. Yeah. I thought they went Grey Trees. I thought they had their struggles financially. I was quite surprised to see them still brewing. I might be wrong. Someone can shed any light. That would be amazing. Neil Long, how you doing, my man? I'm glad you're in for this one. Well, this is quite sad. End of one adventure, the start of another. We'll have to have a bevy soon. Absolutely. Neil Long, you absolute legend. Most recently sent me a Lord Chambray care package from his travels in Malta. And when I was in Malta in March, I was messaging Neil on Instagram, where's good? Massive supporter of the channel. So thank you, Neil. Living in the same town. Oh, you live in the same town as Grey Tree. Sorry, but you are. It made sense by you saying the same time. Sobieski says, for some reason, Tiny Rebel went from a fantastic brewery to producing Fute Puree heavy alco pops. That is literally it, isn't it? That said, some of their core beers are still good, and I think that's what you were saying, Chris, about Club Tropica.
Yeah. It's exactly what Tiny Rebel did, didn't it? They just went crazy.
Literally dropped off a cliff, because that's a bit before my real beer enthusiast time. Did they should just drop off a cliff then?
What, Tiny Rebel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did. You know, they were making good beers, and and Pineapple Express used to be fantastic. But I think when they originally brewed that, it was a collab, and then they took it on by themselves, and it changed.
Yeah. Polly's, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and 3-4 years ago, they were producing good beers, and they got a great logo. Their artwork's generally always pretty decent, but they just went nuts with adjuncts and flavorings and just wacky ideas. Like their whole Tiny Puffed range is just obscene now. There isn't really a decent Tiny Puffed stout anymore. They're just, they're just full of just too much. They've just gone too far.
Yeah.
I don't know how many other people have stopped drinking Tiny Rebel, but they clearly keep making it, so it clearly keeps selling. So people are, but whether they buy it once, there's a big rush and people buy it and then it doesn't sell. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know the ins and outs, but I rarely buy Tiny Rebel now.
Yeah, I think I really lost it with them when, Jesus, if this would have been like 1.5 years ago. My wife bought me a Valentine's box of beers, or box of beers for Valentine's Day, and there was something in there called, it was called like Chocky Mocky or something, and it was defined as a chocolate hard shake,
Right.
and it was a really, really fizzy, really thin chocolate. It was like really thin, watered down chocolate fizzy milk. That's the best way I could describe it. It was absolutely minging. It was about 8.4%. So I tried to think what it actually cost to buy.
So
and I was just like,
it's
wow.
the complete opposite of what it was meant to be, then, isn't it? Because
Honestly,
something like that should be thick, full of chocolate. It shouldn't be fizzy. It should never be fizzy, should it?
It was like it was just a mess. I can't remember what it was called. It was in like it was called like Chocky Mocky or something. I can't remember. It was just absolutely dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Mersey Beers says family and your health are the most important. We'll miss the updates about the bar. Yes, if anyone wants to follow the bar on Instagram, just go and search Barrel and Bridle. It's on there. We've got an event tomorrow actually, a Christmas market. But yeah, if you want to follow the updates on the bar, guys, I know a lot of you were really interested in that. That's where to find them for sure. Crummy, mate, pint of Pringles for old time's sake. We'll join you later if you're still on. Good to see you, Crumster. Neil Long says, yeah, so I had a Kutch, we talked about this earlier, Kutch is sensational on cast. Just shows you when Tiny Rebel goes back to basics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Really good. Matt Hall, hey, Mark, you got to do what's best for you and the family. We've cut back on beer and lost 3 stone since August. Wow. That's incredible.
Well
Matt,
done.
well done. Just not by drink. It sounds silly, but like just by drinking beer when I really want to drink beer, like socially, I've been able to lose 0.5 stone in like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Does show you. It does show you. But I'm not going to get on that train because you do what you got to do. Fresh Country Ales, how are you doing? So chuffed to be catching this stream. Onwards and upwards. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Thank you. Mark Jones Gibbons is very much thriving. I'm in their tap room every rest day I have. They moved to a bigger tap brewery this year and just opened a brewery shop. Why? Maybe it wasn't Grey Trees then. Did they ever get in a bit of a sticky situation, Mark? I could have sworn. I remember going into a pub called the Artichoke in Norwich. Really good pub. Good for real ale and really good for craft beer as well. And they had Grey Trees on. And I remember saying to the barman, oh, last pint of Grey Trees I'm having. I'm sure it was Grey Trees. It's probably someone else now. And he was like, yep. I just had in my head it was Grey Trees. Mersey says, trying a Rebel Cast game is usually decent, but never buy their stuff in small pack.
No.
I think that's probably fair.
Yeah.
I think that's probably fair. I'm quite enjoying, from what I can taste, I'm quite enjoying this Stroud hop drop. They seem to be very big into their like organic stuff because it's got like Soil Association organic stamps on the side and stuff. They're obviously they're from the Cotswolds. They're probably not a million miles away from old Mr. Clarkson.
Probably not.
Brewing that stuff over there. Because does Clarkson own a percentage of Cotswold Brewery or Cotswold Brewing Company? Does he own it?
I don't know. It wouldn't be surprised me if he does now. But he's clearly making some money out of it, isn't he? Whatever he's doing, he'd be making money from it. I'm not convinced he owns it or owns a part of it, rather. But you never know with Clarkson. He puts his fingers in lots of different pies.
No.
Yeah, I don't mind the man. I know he has his haters, but I don't mind him. I find him quite amusing.
Yeah, I do. I've never really been much of a fan of like the big mouths. So like people like Chris Moyles, remember when he was on Radio 1, couldn't stand him. Yeah. But something about Clarkson where he's just got this like kind of jovial, doesn't take himself too seriously thing. And it's like, I don't know, I just quite like that. It kind of speaks to me.
I do. And I can't. I was never a fan of Chris Evans. And when Chris Evans
No.
did that very first episode on Top Gear, I just found that pure cringe. When he was
Oh.
dancing around singing "We Got Custody of the Stig" was just, I thought, just so embarrassing. And he is a loudmouth, Chris Evans, but I just found him intolerable on Top Gear. He was just way too loud and way too big mouthy. Whereas Clarkson's got an opinion, but he just delivers it in a different way, doesn't he? And for me, Chris Evans just didn't work on Top Gear. I just thought he was terrible at it. Absolutely awful.
That was one hell of a fall from grace, wasn't it? Chris Evans, Matt LeBlanc, and that other guy.
Yeah. Was it
God,
Rory at the time?
Rory, yeah.
Yeah.
Going to those guys. I mean, Matt LeBlanc was about as funny as stepping on a plug.
Yeah.
Chris Evans, you could see he was well past his sell by date. And this Rory guy, he was trying to really get into it, but it was just looked so like fake, didn't it? It was just such a fall from grace.
It just wasn't for Rory. It just wasn't for him, that format, was it? Because he's quite a nice guy, but that format,
he is.
Suit him. Chris Harris, I really like, and Chris Harris has got a great YouTube channel, and he knows cars, doesn't he? He knows how to drive. He knows cars. He's got proper passion for it. So for Chris Harris, I think it's a bit of a shame that Top Gear's gone, but you know, his YouTube channel was sore now, absolutely sore. So yeah, I like Chris Harris, but Chris Evans, just a joke.
Yeah, I think probably when it ended, it was Chris Harris, Paddy McGuinness, and Freddie Flintoff. I thought that was like, all right. That was kind of, they kind of had that like bit of chemistry between the three of them when they used to do the trips. It was kind of like Top Gear of old in a way.
Yeah.
But Evans, Matt LeBlanc, and Rory, that just did not work.
I think it was just all a panic and a rush, wasn't it? Let's try and put a couple of big names in that were kind of not really big names anymore, and I think they just absolutely rushed it, trying to just get it back out there, and it just flopped. What did Chris Evans last? One season, didn't he? I think that was about
literally,
it.
I think.
Yeah.
Literally.
Dreadful.
Mark Jones Gibbons says, not that I know, mate, in terms of grey trees having troubles. That probably me just absolutely pulling one out of my arse there and coming up with not the right conclusion. Right, I'm gonna go for a quick wee break. Chris, it's all yours.
Cool.
Anything coming up on your channel, mate?
Well, I might as well talk about my channel while we're at it, because we're up to date with the comments. So I might as well talk about my channel. Let me just go on what Mersey Beers is saying. Chris Harris was the only one that was a proper car journalist. Completely agree. If you look at Clarkson, Hammond, I think that's supposed to say May, they are all car journalists. Richard Hammond, less so, as he had the radio background. Yeah, he did have a radio background, but he's got a pretty good face for TV, and the Hammond, and worked well with the pair of them. But yeah, you're right. Clarkson, May, Hammond, you know, they did all have a car type of background and journalism and enthusiasm for it, and they absolutely knew cars. Matt LeBlanc, he kind of knew cars, but nowhere near the same level. And if you're presenting that type of show, you've got to know your onions, haven't you, when it comes to vehicles. Chris Evans, yes, he's got a massive fleet, if that's the right word. No, it's not. Collection of Ferraris that he's had them all painted white, which I find a bit absurd. So he knows Ferraris, but did he know much else about cars? I don't think so. But like I say, I think it was all a bit rushed bringing in those three after, you know, the three that everyone kind of loved. So yeah, is it a shame Top Gear's done? I'm not overly disappointed that Top Gear's finished. It needs a revamp. It needs a whole rethink, is how I feel about Top Gear. But Richard, May, Hammond and Clarkson, I think they're still doing stuff for Amazon, aren't they? On the Grand Tour, doing their little specials, which I will watch, I will enjoy. But in terms of my channel, let's talk about Mark Jones. Chris, I'm ashamed to say I haven't checked out your channel, but will now. Have you not? My channel. So I don't do a lot on my channel anymore. I probably put out one video a week, if I'm lucky. I think it's over a week since I've last put out a video. And I'm not ending my YouTube channel, but I don't have the same enthusiasm for it as I did for various reasons. But I've also got a lot of other things going on outside of YouTube. I do have 2 YouTube channels, and my other YouTube channel is still going. I still do things on there, but because of that channel, I've got a lot of other things going on that's developed a lot of other things that has really taken up my time. And I love my beer review channel, but my other channel is my absolute passion because of the amount of people that helps. And because of that channel, it's helped me get involved in a lot of other things. And at the moment, I'm in the process of setting up a type of support group for certain things to do with my health, where I've been working with a hospital, doing a lot of work with a hospital, and that is really taken up a lot of my time at the moment. A real lot of my time. So my beer channel has slowed down significantly, and it probably will carry on slowing for a while, just because of how much I've got going on with my other channel. And like I say, the work I'm doing with a hospital now, the work I'm doing with a healthcare company, it's really demanding an awful lot of my time. So sitting down and doing a YouTube video for beer when I haven't got the same passion is really taking a bit of a back burner. The channel will stay, and I will still put out videos, but they won't be as often, just because of the amount of work I've got going on with a healthcare company, now working with the hospital, and doing my full-time job, and having 2 kids, my wife, the dog, the 4 cats, and so on. So I've got a lot going on. I've got another company that is beer related that have approached me. I'm not going to say the name yet until things are finalized with them, that want me to do some stuff for them as well. So that's all taken over. However, I will say, however, if I know people have their views on TikTok, but if you want to see more of my reviews, go on TikTok, because that is where I'm doing predominantly a lot of reviews at the minute on TikTok. It's still called Chris's Beer Reviews, and on TikTok I aim to do a beer review in 2 minutes and 15 seconds is my goal on there. And that means I'm literally, from walking into my pub shed, turning the camera on, getting a beer out, doing the review, and back in my house doing other things is done in 5 minutes, whereas YouTube takes a lot longer than that. So I am on TikTok. I never thought I'd announce that on YouTube, that I am on TikTok, but I am. And it's doing all right on there. But I literally, in 5 minutes, I'm back in the house. So I'm not losing any time. So if you want to see more of me, TikTok, Chris's Beer Reviews. But it doesn't mean my YouTube channel's going. It's still staying Chris's Beer Reviews on YouTube. I'm just not putting out videos on there as often as I was, just because of the amount of commitments I've got going on, as long as maintaining a full-time job, 2 kids, family, etc. Bosh, there you go.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, Chris told me, well, we found out about this beer company that's got in touch with Chris that we're not going to mention the name of. And that's pretty bloody good.
Yeah, it is. It is. There's more I would tell you about that, but not on here.
Yeah, that's
because
fair.
you might be interested to hear what I've got to say. So, yeah, it's early stages, but I think it will develop.
Happy days, happy flipping days. Comments wise, Mersey said Chris Harris was the only one that was a proper car journalist. If you look at Clarkson, Hammond, and Clarkson, I presume May. They're all car journalists. Richard Hammond less so, as he has a radio background. Yes. Oh yeah. Then you put May. Yeah. Yeah. They all had. There was definitely something about them, wasn't there? They should work so well together. Chris, I'm ashamed to say I haven't checked out your channel yet, but I will. Says Mark Jones Gibbon. There you go.
Is this a different Mark Jones than to the normal Mark Jones? Have we now got another Mark Jones? Right.
Yes.
Because now we've got Gibbon. I was thinking, why has he added Gibbon to the end of his name?
Yeah. Yeah, we got Mark Jones and Mark Jones Gibbon, which always catches me out. David Durrell, how you doing, David? Bring back William Woolard to Top Gear. Who was that?
Is that like back to the 70s?
William Woolard. I remember a guy. Do you remember Mark? Is it? Oh, what's that one where they buy you got Mike Brewer and he buys the car and he used to give it to Ed China to do up.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember Mike Brewer because Mike Brewer filled in. I think he was on Top Gear for a little while, and he filled in for Richard Hammond because I went to MPH 06, which was like a Top Gear show at the Earl's Court, and Richard Hammond had his accident a couple of days before in the rocket car, and Mike Brewer filled in for him. Then there was another guy, quite a big guy, quite a stocky guy. Was his name David? He was like before May
he was
and Hammond.
Yeah, he was a big unit. That guy, I know the one you mean.
Yeah, he was a unit, really nice guy. But yeah, he says, no, sorry, mate, we'll sort that, says Mark Jones about your channel, Chris. Jimmy C, how you doing? Cheers. What's with the goodbye, guys? It's not goodbye from Chris. It's only goodbye from me. Bit of health, bit of time issue, bit of an enthusiasm issue. All means that I'm just going to call it a day, mate. Bit of work issue as well. Well, not issue. Bit of work. A few more work commitments now. Mersey says hello to Jimmy and Neil. Mersey says, Chris, cannot use the same TikTok reviews and put it on YouTube Shorts. I'd love to join TikTok. However, unfortunately, I'm over 30.
It does seem to be a lot for the youngsters, TikTok, but there's some good beer reviewers on TikTok. Some really good guys. 1 Minute Beer Review, he's a really good guy. And there's a few others. I did look at that Mersey Beers. However, YouTube Shorts is still only running at a minute long, which is too short. I cannot review a beer in a minute. I just can't do it, no matter how much I try. As soon as YouTube increase their shorts, it's even if they just increase it to 3 minutes, 5 minutes, I'll put them all on YouTube, but they're still only doing YouTube Shorts in 60 seconds. And I just cannot review a beer in 60 seconds. I can't do it.
No. I'm with you, mate. I'll spend 60 seconds talking about what the label looks like, let alone the beer itself. Jimmy C says, cheers, Adam. Joey says, Jimmy, bro. Jimmy says, Joey. Mosey says, David Durrell, next you'll be asking for Noel Edmonds to go back to Top Guy.
Noel Edmonds was on Top Gear, wasn't he, many moons ago?
Was he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's why he's put it. Go back to Top Gear. He means Top Gear, not Top Guy. But yeah,
God.
He was. Noel Edmonds was on Top Gear. If you go on YouTube and just type in Noel Edmonds Top Gear, he was on there.
Oh my Lord, I'm going to have to have a look at that. William Woolard was back in the 70s. Can't remember him, and I'm old. Mersey Beer says, like Mike Brewer's Dream Car Show. That's really good. Is that like the one he used to do? Because he's now with that Formula One mechanic, isn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, Mike, what was it called? Rags to Riches or something? I'm trying to remember the other show that he used to do.
He did something like that. I mean, again, Mike Brewer's got his haters, but I don't mind Mike Brewer. He knows his cars as well.
Wheeler Dealers. That was it.
Yeah, Wheeler Dealers was fantastic. I still watch that. The old ones, the new ones. I like Mike Brewer. He knows cars, and you can't knock that. You just cannot.
He's a proper like second-hand car dealer, isn't he? Like he knows his way around a second-hand motor. That bloke.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Lol, can you not edit your 2-minute video to run at 2 times speed to fit it in?
It'd be a very fast video. I can't even try and imitate speaking in less than 2 minutes and put it on fast forward. I'll sound like a mouse.
David Durrell says he bets he could review a beer and drink a lot in a minute. Well, even this one, David. my magnum of Chimay.
That's a good beer, that is.
That's a 2021 Grand Reserve.
Cracking beer. Right, I'm just going to run into the kitchen and check on the chicken that's in the oven. So I'm just going to disappear for a minute.
Mersey Beer says Elvis is the mechanic. Yes, it's a similar show. That's it. F1 Elvis, he calls himself, doesn't he? He used to have a channel. Mark. Oh, can't remember his blooming name. But yeah, F1. I think he was like an old McLaren mechanic, I think, from memory. Yeah, so what we'll probably do, guys, wrap it up at 6:30, and that'll be it. That literally will be it for the channel. Just while Chris is away, I just want to thank each and every one of you for watching, commenting, and everything else. It's been a blooming good 26 months at it. I've really, really, really enjoyed it. there's been like no lows. It's been like the perfect. It's been like the perfect time on YouTube. I've been lucky enough not to get any hate put in my direction or trolls or any of that. It's just been. I always said as well, like if there's ever anything ever like that, I'd just quit. But it's just been a pleasure to meet each and every one of you. Some of you in person, some of you just like this. But yeah, just while Chris is away and I can just have a soppy little moment, I just want to say thank you to, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, to each and every one of you. Yeah, it kind of, yeah, just hitting 1,000 subs. It's something so small and it doesn't mean anything. But even just hitting 1,000 subs, that was just like massive. And I never thought that, yeah, people would want to watch me drinking beer in a spare bedroom, that's for sure. But no, it's been great to meet you guys properly, and yeah, on to the next adventure. But I'm just about to finish this Stroud. Now I've had a soppy moment. I'm just finishing this Stroud hop drop. From what I can taste, because I can't taste everything, the fact that I can taste quite a lot of this beer is probably a testament to how flavorful it is. But yeah, yeah, it's wheeler dealer dream cars. They have to keep trading up cars to get to someone's dream car. That's cool. That's really, really good. Last video, Mark. It is indeed. It's been our pleasure. Happy to have met you. Hope to meet you in person one day. It'll happen, Sharky. 100%. Mark Jones says Mark Priestley is the guy you're thinking of. It absolutely is Mark Priestley. It is. Really good guy. Mersey says you need to drink the Chimay. Mate, my one of my good mates, George, his mum's opening a pub about 15 minutes away, and I'm due to go to the opening in a bit. So I need to be, I don't think, what is this? What size is this? It's 150 centilitres. I think that might finish me off for like until next Christmas. But yeah, that was always going to be my, when I hit 1,000 subs, I was going to crack that, but never got around to it. Kind of lost interest after that, if I'm honest. Il Corvo says, will you still appear on the odd live stream with when the others run? Probably. I'm like, probably. Like, I might, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I reckon I probably will from time to time, because that's one of the, like, doing the lives and like speaking to you guys and speaking to Crummy, Chris, and John and Paul and everybody. That's one of the things I will miss about YouTube the most, because that was like beyond a hobby. That was like actually having friends that you socialize with, if you know what I mean. And we are, believe it, we are all really good friends. Yeah, I don't want that to end. That's like the one side of that I don't want to end, but I won't be hosting anything. I'll be joining other people. Mark Jones says, still be here if you have a fancy beer and talking a bit of nonsense. Thank you, mate. If anyone wants to get hold of me, if you follow the Craft Beer Hub channel on Instagram and you want to chat from time to time, I'll just turn that into like a personal Instagram. I might even leave it as the Craft Beer Hub. I don't know. I haven't really thought that far, but we will see. Mark says that'll be 1.5 litres, mate. Yeah, it's 1.5 litres of 9%. Well, when it was bottled, it was 9%. Chimay Grand Reserve. That was like 8. No, that wasn't 12, 15 euros in France last year. Mark S says, will you be heading to the beer festivals, Mark? Probably the local ones. I kind of said this year that I was going to do more local stuff, or like the smaller ones. I don't like getting dragged back to London again, but I won't be doing the London beer festivals. There's a good one in Cambridge. There's a really good one in Norwich at St Andrew's Hall that I need to get to. Like, it's criminal that I haven't been there yet. It's a camera one, but the cask beer scene around this area is flipping mentally good. Like, it's almost like an untapped sort of region for beer. East Anglia. Excuse me. So, yeah, probably the local ones. Rasco, how you doing, my man? Very surprised to hear this. You made a great contribution to beer and YouTube. I wish you well. That's very kind, Rasco. Thank you. And I know we've had a chat about this. Yeah, it's just time, mate. I think. Yeah, I won't keep repeating myself for the guys that are watching already, but yeah, I think it's just time. I've kind of Yeah, my enthusiasm's rock bottom, and if you've got the enthusiasm to do something, you can kind of get over a few of the little hurdles, if you know what I mean. But the hurdles do become a lot bigger when you haven't got enthusiasm to do something, and that's basically what we've ended up with now. So it's just more time with my family, concentrating more on myself and my physical health. Mentally, I'm absolutely fine. People always go, "Oh my God, is he having a breakdown?" Trust me, I'm not. It's my physical health I need to sort that out. I've never been heavier than I was 3 weeks ago. I've lost half a stone since by not drinking beer. And I'm just taking some time for myself and my family. That's pretty much it. Obviously, professionally, my work life's increased. My workload's increased with the horse box and stuff, probably to a level that I didn't think it would. But I'm totally cool with it. Like I'm certainly not a work shy person. And it's just like all these other little things that happen in other areas. I need to cut something out, and it is YouTube. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We have a man in a tiger shed.
Hello.
How are we?
I've had a bit of a nightmare.
Why?
I couldn't get my. Oh, it's literally, you wouldn't believe it. So I couldn't. I've got a mobile router inside the shed, a 3-1, and it's really good when it works. And it just wouldn't come on. It wouldn't go past. It was stuck on red, no network. So I've been on the phone to them trying to fix it. They couldn't fix it. And then I went and got the router extender, plugged that in, and it works fine. And then no sooner do I do that and get on, then it comes back to life.
Just giving you the runaround, mate.
It is. How are you?
Yeah, good. Good.
I'm a bit snotty. So,
how was your phone call earlier?
It was all right. I decided that I didn't want to do that anyway.
Okay, cool. Sorry, everyone.
But I have some other irons in fires. I had some really interesting conversations this afternoon. And I've been toying with an idea of starting a coffee company for a while.
What?
Yeah. I know, I've kept this on a bit of a lowdown.
We talk 3 times a week for at least 45 minutes of time, and I've never heard you even say the word coffee.
No, I know. Because I didn't want to say it and it not be even an idea. But I wanted it to be more than an idea, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, what's happened is I've got someone that can make the coffee for me and how I want it made. So we just got to negotiate price. But it might be like a nice little side quest. Because I love coffee, something I'm really passionate about. And could be like something fun and interesting. So yeah.
Well,
with a chicken dinner.
That's come well out of left field, that.
Yeah, it's literally a conversation I'd had years ago with someone. And then we never kind of took it any further because obviously I was busy with the brewery. But then we had a conversation this afternoon and I said, I'm actually got the time now to do it properly. So could we have another conversation? He's like, I'm one up for it. So I'm very low down here.
You are. You are. I did kind of think that.
I kind of like, if I sit down and I'm really comfy like this.
Then you just look low down and then really far away.
It's not a good look, is it?
It's not. It's not.
I might. Shall I move on to my office chair and slink this back into the corner?
Right. While you do that, I'm going to get some comments. Henry says, "Much love, brother, Mark, brother. Cheers, Dan. Sorry to hear. Be honest, we'll miss you, mate. Henry, honestly, thank you, mate. You've been like the number one hype man for this stream for such a long time. So thank you. Come on, darling. We've got a visit. We've got the visitors back.
Hi,
say hello to John. Say hi, John.
Hello, Sophie.
Hi, John. That's go. La, 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 la.
So cute,
say hi, John.
That's better, isn't it?
Say, Sophie, what do you say to the dog poo? What do you say to the dog poo?
Sophie, is Father Christmas coming to your house to bring you presents?
Father Christmas?
Yeah.
Have you been a good girl though?
Kind of. Yes, you have. You're cheeky, aren't you?
Daddy.
Yes.
Hello.
Say hi, John.
I done.
Hi, Sophie. She's so
Sophie,
cute, man.
one last time, just because I love it. What do you say to the dog poo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. She's a class act.
We're walking in the New Forest in the summer, and she's going horsey poo, bleh, horsey poo, bleh," because obviously it's everywhere. It's the New Forest, wild horses everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hopzine, Rob, how you doing, mate? For me, it's always been about the community. You can't be a slave to YouTube if it's just a hobby. I think I was probably getting on the verge of that, Rob. The last 3 beer reviews that I filmed that won't ever make YouTube, I was like ramming beer down my neck, and it was like, this is crap. I hadn't recorded a beer review for like 6 weeks, and I'd used all my back catalogues. I'd dripped my back catalogue out, and I was like, right, I need to keep up the content because you obviously want to. And then it was like, I'm ramming this beer down my neck, and I have got to make it look like I'm enjoying it. And that was never,
Cool.
it was never about like faking it. Like my channel was always about like my passion, and like the passion's just gone. So, and like I say, the passion went, and it highlighted all these other things. The hurdles that I was kind of jumping over became a lot taller because the passion had gone.
Tough, man.
Yeah. Henry says, please hit like for
Nice
your
to
host.
see you, Rob, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't seen Robin here for a little while. Good to see you, Rob.
He's a good guy.
Henry, yes. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button for the last time, that would be awesome. Totally understand and respect that, Mark. Thank you, mate. Henry said hello to Rob. Henry then says hello to John. Good evening,
Hello,
mate.
Henry. You're a legend.
Matt Williams is in. Evening, guys. Hello, Matt.
Hi,
Good
Matt.
to see
How
you
you
again,
doing?
Matt. Really good to see you again. Good evening, Matt Williams. Hit the like for your hosts. Boom shakalaka, says Henry. Hello, John. Rooter. I've seen all this. Have you seen these Americans doing English accents on Instagram? It is the funniest thing.
I watch a guy called Air Force Proud 95, and he does Flight Simulator, and he just did one flying a 747 cargo, and for British Airways, and he's doing his British accent, and it was brilliant. It was so funny. But yeah, you call it a router, don't you? But a router for me is a thing for like putting a channel on a piece of wood. That's a router.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I saw one on Instagram the other day. It was like bottle of water. It was, and it was like,
Bottle of water. Yeah,
bottle of water. Yes, my darling. You opened it yourself because she's tall enough to open all the doors now. You coming back on? Getting a bit fame hungry.
She loves it.
Oh, here we go again.
She's
Say
back.
like and subscribe. Or dislike the video. Oh no, you're not disliking the video. Sophie, do you wanna go see Mummy for your bath because you've got tomato soup all over your face.
Lovely.
The only face in Norfolk that's got a sell-by date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I going to do? I was going to do something then. I've forgotten what it was. Oh, there you go. My screen in the background's going absolutely bonkers, putting up some right random stuff. So I guess you've told everybody that you're no longer doing beverages.
Yeah, that's it. And I've even had thoughts about canning the idea for the second channel, to be honest with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just time.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So for those of you that don't know, I've got a very, very, or in my opinion, a very, very pretty Ford Mark 1 Escort. And I was going to do a channel called Mark 1 Mark. Because I thought that kind of rolls off the tongue. You can do a bit with it. And I was like, just the last few days, I'm like, I'd love to. I just don't have the time. It's time. Like, I just don't have it. Like,
I know what you mean. I mean, What would I do? I think if it were me, I'd be inclined to leave up what you've done, leave it
Yeah.
there, and then if you want to change it, then you can. I've just changed mine, and to be honest, I think people are well up for a bit of silliness with cars, and it's doing all right. I quite enjoy it, but I'm only doing it now. It's really nice actually because I'm doing it for me and not for my business.
Yeah,
So
different.
it's a very different feeling for me. So this is all new, where you've kind of been able to do whatever you want anyway. But then I feel like if you stick to beer specific, then you're stuck there, aren't you? Unless you're
That's the
really,
problem.
you know,
It's like
passionate.
that's what like Crummy, his YouTube called the Crummy Beard. He could take his car out. He could eat a biscuit. He could do a takeaway review. He could do his beer, his whiskey, rum. I know he's really into, and all the other spirits. And he's just got so much more of a broad thing. And maybe the channel just gets changed like that.
I think you should. I mean,
Hadn't even thought of that.
I think you should just do what you enjoy and leave it at that, because that's what people really want to see. You know, and if people don't want to see it, there's nothing stopping them from not watching you.
No,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
And I've never, obviously, there's always that chase to 1,000. There was like always that thing when I was getting towards 1,000 subscribers, I was bothered. But generally speaking, I was never really like that bothered about drumming in loads of subscribers. Obviously, you'd have the certain videos where it would come in and you'd be like, oh, that's really cool. And it'd give you like a little bit of a fuzzy, warm feeling. But it's like I probably would lose a few. I'd probably go below 1,000 if I changed the channel, but I don't care. Like I don't. It's never been about that for me. It's been about more like sharing me and my hobbies. Maybe I'll just
you'll
turn it into
probably
a
go
general
down
channel.
and then come back up again. That's what happened with mine. There were 20, 30 people that went straight away, and then we've gained all of those back, and I've actually gained another 10 now.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, maybe. I hadn't even thought of that. Mark Jones Gibbons says, evening, John.
Hello, you're right, Marky boy.
Henry 420 says, much love to Joey and Sharky. John's man cave is looking doody, says Henry. Haven't heard that one in a long time, duty.
Although I've left a gap here, which it's infuriated me.
Yeah, because it's reflecting through.
Really annoying me. I've got some sticky tape. We can do this together.
People say hello to John. Henry says, yo, Mark Jones Gibbons, not too bad. Cheers yourself. Henry just being the most friendly person on YouTube as he always is. Rasco says, I need coffee.
Who doesn't need coffee, Rasco?
Lord's Coffee Brewing.
No, I'm going to do something completely different.
No, I agree. I agree. It's a good move.
Very different.
Henry says hello. Mark Jones talking to Henry. Henry says, yeah, I respect that, mate. Hello, Sophie, says Mark. You never know. She might make some more appearances on the channel if we go. I didn't even think about doing like my own sort of personal channel. I'd never do like daily vlogging or nothing because my life is far from interesting.
Mine's a bit like that. Today, I got out of bed.
It would literally be like living the most boring life in the world, but just putting it on the internet. I'm going to skip through. I'm just going to highlight a few. Horse poo is dangerous as it makes it's like landmines. It's true. Yeah. Kurt, how you doing? So Kurt Gaffer is when I went to Malta, I went to a bottle shop called Pop, P-O-P-P. It is.
I remember that.
There. Pop bottle shop.
Yeah.
In Malta. And when I was in there, I went to film a video. So the first night we arrived in Malta, the first night I was like, obviously going on holiday with an 18-month-old as she was at the time. Not even that. 15-month-old at the time. It was like, holidays are different when you go to places like Malta. Like, they're different. And you get into your hotel at like 8 o'clock if you stretch it out for that long. And I was like, I need some craft beer, or I want some beer. I want to get into the Maltese beer scene. Because obviously, between sort of that point and booking, me and Neil Long had this like massive dialect conversation about Maltese beer.
And there's a lot of great Maltese beer, isn't there?
Oh, it's really good. Like I'm so excited, and people like Kurt, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, people like Kurt will be what takes it to the next level. So the story is, I met Kurt in a bottle shop in Pop. So I went first night. I went and got some beer. Said to the guy behind the bar, Miguel, he owns the place or his co-owner. I said, "Can I film with you tomorrow?" He said, "Yep, do it." Kurt came in that day. So I'm chatting to Kurt, and Kurt's going, "What do you suggest?" Because there was loads of English stuff there as well. So I'm kind of talking him through. I said, "Are you into your beers then?" He said, "Yeah, I'm a brewer." And I think, Kurt, you grow your own hops, don't you? And you're well into it. And Kurt had given a bottle of his beer to Miguel. And then Miguel in turn gave it to me. And it was, Kurt, it was an English strong bitter. Was it with black cardamom and carob seeds? It was insane. Like, it was technically homebrew, but it was just like insane. And
so like a traditional style. It was like another country with like a complete modern twist on it.
Yeah. So, and it was like 5.7%. So Lord Chambray,
very nice.
You've got Chisk, and you've got Farsons Brewery, which do like their version of a bitter, their version of an ale, their version of a lager, and it's just mass produced. And you lose a lot. Lord Chambray then came in about 6, 7, 8 years ago and started producing. For me, because there's another brewery called Husky, but there's Lord Chambray started brewing some really good craft beer, but it was never really like that groundbreaking. It was good quality, but it was like never really like pushing the boundaries of brewing. And that's not me criticizing them; they just knew their lane. Kurt is about to go commercial, and he is pushing that boundary.
That's wild.
I genuinely think Kurt Gaffer could be, and I'm not saying it because he's here. I've tasted his beer, and I've spoken to him at length, and I've seen the Maltese beer scene. I think he could be probably the most important brewer for the Maltese craft beer movement over the next 2 or 3 years. He's brewing that. His stuff is that good.
That's awesome.
So yeah, pretty cool.
Look forward to trying your beer out, Kurt. Sounds awesome. I'm just gonna wedge my door lock slightly, because there's a right draft coming through here. And,
we didn't ever get to Kurt's comment. Hi, Mark. Thanks for the contributions to the beer community through your channel. Best wishes. Keep strong and hit us up again if you're over in Malta. I would love to come to Malta again. I would love to do it. I'd love to do it. No disrespect to my daughter or my family. I'd love to do it without any sort of ties to go home early, because the beer scene, like all the beer scene and the kind of restaurant scene and the going out scene in Valletta looked amazing. We were just like leaving the city as we because we had to just as when it was getting going. Really do. Cheers, Mark, brother. Says Henry, loading a 747 with cargo is my least favorite thing to do in the world, says Joey. Those planes can hold 42 standard size pallets. It takes forever. Yeah, big old,
but it does.
Big old bus.
Queen of the skies.
Beautiful plane. Not many people fly them anymore. They're mostly cargo planes now, aren't they? Converted.
They are. They did deliver a new one recently, though. So there are some that are still
with the new with the new engine on the GE engine.
Yeah.
Joey says my daughter loves it when Brits say water bottle. It makes her laugh every time. What your bottle? Water bottle. It's true though, isn't it? Like when you look at the way he's typed it.
But that's a southern thing. So up in the north, you hear people, they wouldn't say necessarily water bottle. They'd say, well, Lids would say water bottle without the R sounding because I'm southern. But they say watter. Watter, yeah. Yeah, some of their, like, her dad is like proper Yorkshire. You'll hear him say watter.
Watter.
Weird. Watter.
What are they doing over there?
I tell you, get me some watter.
right, Lids. Get some water, will you?
That's what I mean. Right, John. That's what she sounds like. Tell me. Oh, I was at school today. Right, set of bastards.
Proper Yorkshire. Last beer. How you doing? Cheers to you, good sir.
Cheers, last beer.
Cheers, Josh. Says Henry. Joey says the new GTA 6 trailer drops September the 5th. This is not a drill.
Wow. I hope they don't mess it up.
Yeah, that's like a timeless franchise. That's a franchise that's just got it right nearly every single time.
I gave up
Or
on
franchise, a
Forza Motorsport.
company, sorry.
It was rubbish.
Joey says, can't wait, Joey, bro. One of my favourite games of all time. Henry, you ain't lying. Only 10 years in the making. Is how long it is since the last one?
Yeah. But don't forget,
What?
the map of the old one has been upgraded and upgraded. I've got to say, I've never played the new one. Very briefly. I just didn't have the time. When it came out, I've got like kids and I've just never... It's only now I've started to have a little bit of time. It's been quite good, actually.
I can't believe it's 10 years.
Yeah. I've been playing COD again because I've got time to play it. I've been sneaky. The other day, I was like, right, I set myself a goal every day. I've got to get these certain things done. So, like this man cave thing was one of them. And I'm like, right, I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna game for the rest of the day. And I did. I gamed all day. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It was fun.
My PlayStation is it in this box? Where is it? It's in a box. There it is. Look how this is how long I haven't played it. I think this is a PS3, is it?
Oh wow, that is old.
Was that PS4?
Oh no, that's a 4. That's a bit
That's
newer.
a 4. Look how dusty it is. Look, that's how long I haven't played it.
Wow, get it sold.
Yeah, I need to.
Cash converters.
I want it. I want to keep it just in case Sophie wants to play it one day, and never know, I might start playing Call of Duty again. Henry says, "Wow, it's got chilly, mate. It's been like -1 or 2 over here, but I think John's had it worse than what we've had it."
Well, the garden out here is all snow still. So
You had snow.
Yeah. It's all snow. All our roofs covered in snow. My German barometer said when I came in this shed it was 34 Fahrenheit in this shed.
That's -1 or 2, isn't it?
Yeah, so I turned the heating on and we're now up to 55. So we're warming up.
Toasty.
But, yeah, the insulation definitely makes a difference, but it's still not perfect. But yeah, it's been very, very cold up here. But the new house, the snow's still on the roof. Now, our old house, it just melts straight away because all the heat was going out through the top.
I said this to you when you were buying this new house, and you were talking about mortgage payments and stuff like that, and obviously buying a house is an expensive thing. And I said to you, you will get that money back by not spending the amount that you would have spent on bills.
It's half the gas and electric.
And in these times, that's good.
Well, I'd be doing like 400 quid a month in the last house now, at least. Yeah, because it was
Makes
just
you feel
so
sick.
drafty.
Joey said that's why I never made my channel a weed channel. I really don't like talking about weed, just smoking it. I couldn't care less about soil pH and watering methods. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Mark says, didn't Chris say he was coming back? Mate, I think when he said he was going to check on the chicken, I think he's going to catch it and pluck it. Henry says, Joey, bro, I know what you mean. I do the master dank stuff to try to keep the scene alive and strong in the UK and worldwide. Oh, yes, I'm not me without coffee in the morning. Is that how late we are? I like the Snickers ads. Oh, yeah, you're not you. Yeah, is it like you're not you when you're hungry or something?
That's it, yeah.
Mark just says, good, John. Thank you, mate. All good?
I'm good apart from a smegging cold.
Yeah.
So I'm having a good beer because that seems like a good idea.
Yeah, honestly, I had what did I have to start with? I had an Augustina Dunkel beer, and I don't know why I bothered cracking it. Couldn't taste a thing.
I will say it's Crumbacker. It tastes nice. Right, I need to ask anybody in the comments that has glasses. I find it really hard to blow my nose whilst wearing glasses. is this a thing that I have to take my glasses off every time I blow my nose? I need to know because it's really annoying.
We don't want to flying across the room.
Exactly.
Well, Corvo says, "What will you do with your beer shrine? Your little beer shrine?" Probably take it down. To be honest, mate. Like I said before, I think you went in at this point, but half of this spare bedroom's dominated with like this YouTube setup, and the other half's my wife's office. And when I say the other half, I literally mean like probably a third. And she works in there 2 days a week, so I want to give her some space as well. So it'd be good to give her a nice. This is quite a big bedroom. It's like the second bedroom, if you like.
I see a Peloton bike coming.
Oh yeah, well that's the next thing. I was looking at spin bikes the other day. But Il Corvo, I'll probably get rid. It'll probably be gone, mate. Henry says, Joey, yeah, we call them chips in the UK. I'm sure it's the other way around, mate. They're 100% called crisps. Like, why you call chips crisps chips? I don't know. But you call a scone a biscuit anyway, which is just weird in itself. So I don't quite know.
Kobe said the other day, what is it with Americans calling petrol gas? It's just stupid. It's not even a gas, it's a liquid. And I was like, no, it's because it comes from the word gasoline. And he was like, oh, why don't they call it petrol? And I was like, I don't actually know. I have no idea. And they can't say aluminium either.
No, aluminum. Pavement they call sidewalk, and then they call.
Have you ever heard them say roof?
No,
they don't say roof. Like we say a roof, car roof. They say a rough.
Rough.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like that's what dogs do.
What's the weirdest one? I'll tell you the weirdest one. A tap, they call a faucet, but then they don't call it a glass of faucet water. They call it a glass of tap water.
Oh,
yeah, true.
They call it tap water. No way.
Hey, Chris.
Here he is.
He's back.
He's got a little beard.
How are we?
Doing good. I'm loving the beard.
Definitely
looks cool.
Even more sexier today, does Chris, with that beard?
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
And it's an unwritten rule. If you're going to review beer on YouTube, you do need a beard.
It's true. It's true. I sat in my chair.
True words.
But I was sat on the floor, Chris, so I had to change chairs. I'm back in my lockdown chair.
Kurt Gaffer says, "Yep, that's the one." So
chair. I'm glad you're still employed.
John, Kurt Gaffer, there was a 5.7% English bitter with black cardamom and carob seeds.
Ooh.
Yeah, bloody lovely that was. Joey says Maltese craft beer movement sounds like a sweet rap group.
It does, doesn't it?
Joey says, back in the day, I couldn't play in front of the kids because they were too young to hear that language. Now it's game on. Henry's laughing at Joey. Ouch, got to be like -5 or something here in the Midlands. Oh, that's minging. That's a nice temp. What COD you been playing, John? Just dusted off my PS3, and me and my mate going to play some Blackout 2 Zombies in a bit.
So I've been playing I've been doing the DMZ one. So it's the new COD. I think it's new, but it's the free one that anybody can play. And I've been playing
the Warzone one. Warzone.
Yeah. It's annoying. So it's a bit like Fortnite in that you got to go and collect your stuff.
Yeah.
But then if you get killed and it gets left in game, all your guns get left in game. So it is frustrating like that. But on the plus side, what's really nice about it, as a novice, I can just go in and play. I don't have to collect a bunch of stuff. It doesn't really matter because I can just go in, get my enjoyment, and then I'm out again. And I can leave it for a week.
You talk about the computer game, yeah, John?
Well, yeah.
Go in, get your enjoyment, then you're out.
I played it for longer than 15 seconds, though.
I hope you're hearing this. Henry says snow is beautiful until it melts and turns slushy and it gets all over your shoes. It's true. Alcohol is the best germ killer. Fact. I have to say these beers are going down actually quite well. I'm on some
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Exmoor Brewery Stag at the moment,
Oh, nice.
which is decent. It's 5.2% strong bitter, which is doing some work.
It's the Germans.
Henry says, please hit the like for the host. That'd be amazing if you would for the last time, guys. That would be amazing. Alex Brackenridge, how you doing, Alex? You'll be missed. Particularly loved anything you did with Tom the Crummy Beard. All the best for the future. Thank you, dude. Ooh, I appreciate that, mate. Yeah, I really enjoyed filming with Tom and John. Chris, did we ever film anything together, Chris?
I think we've only ever done lives together, haven't we? Really?
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
we
think
were
we've
going
done
to film
anything.
something together at John's brewery one time.
Why have you suddenly gained an echo?
Yeah. I can't remember. Well, 'cause
It could be
I've got
Chris's
absolutely
phone,
god-awful- I'm on the laptop. I might have to switch to the phone. The internet is just a nightmare here at the minute. It's doing my head in.
Yeah, but thank you, Alex, mate. I appreciate that. Il Corvo, you have to get one of those rubber band things to keep them on your face. Fashion statement as well. Your glasses, John.
Yeah. That look. Maybe I get a bit of white tape and stick it around the middle as well.
Jimmy C says, what are you doing with the horse box? The horse box is up and running, mate. We've got events coming in. We've got another one tomorrow. We've got a Christmas market tomorrow. Slinging out some mulled wine and big Christmas beer boxes for gifts and things like that. So that is very much. That's
Maybe
probably
that's something you want to put on it.
Yeah, that's what Crummy was saying. Crummy was like, "Why don't you turn your normal channel, this channel, into like a Horsebox channel?" It's like, I don't know if I'll have the content, but if I do it as a bit more of a general channel, it might have some legs. But we will see. Do you guys call diesel something else? No.
Yes.
Oh, the old boys call it Derv, which is just
Derv,
weird.
Yeah, they call it Derv. I don't. What's Derv stand for? Diesel. I need to know. This is the thing that I. Derv is.
This is what you need Dictionary Corner for.
Diesel oil for road vehicles.
What?
That's what it stands for. Diesel oil for road vehicles. Derv. I wonder if that comes out because the people that I hear call it Derv tend to be farmers. So, because then we have something called red diesel, which I don't know if you guys have in America. But red diesel is basically agricultural fuel and there's no tax on it. So basically, they have a thing here in the UK where they dip your tank to see if you've been using red diesel. And if you have, you get nicked. But just in case you didn't know, you can actually remove the red out of it using bread.
It's a true story.
True story.
Jimmy C says milk is milk in some parts. Yeah, that's just is that Finland or is that America? Luke John says I call Californians lemon tree sitters. Sounds kind of racist to me, that one, Luke. I know you're not though, but good evening to you, Chris mate. He says Henry. Henry also says good evening to Luke. Joey says we call mobile cell phones in car parks, parking garages, or parking lots. Yeah, I can kind of see that though. Evening, Henry. Jimmy C says L to the U to the K to the E to the Y. They're all in tonight.
Like Americans need like specifics. So like we have a bin, they have a waste paper basket.
But that's the way their humor works, though. Like American humor is so literal; it has to be like,
yeah,
that's what she said, and over here it'd be like, as you actually said to the bishop. Do you know what I mean,
mate? I did the best. That's what she said ever. Perfect timing. Had everybody laughing in the room, and it was just a really good moment. So. Not often do I nail it quite like that, but we went go-karting last weekend, me and some of my mates, and we got put with another group, and we had to watch this safety video. And they're going through the safety video, and everybody was really quiet. And it said, "Make sure your helmet is tight." And then I went, "That's what she said." And everybody started laughing. Oh,
They are
dear.
drab as well, those go-karting safety videos. My God.
It wasn't that bad, though, actually. That's one of the better ones that I've seen over the years.
So we'd advise drinking. We'd advise against drinking alcohol before you go-kart. It's like,
They
well,
had a
do I really
bar
need to know
there.
that?
They had a bar there. They had a bar, and I saw people drinking beer.
Well, there we
Anyway.
go. Cheers, Jamie, Henry, Luke, John. Big ups. Jimmy C says, drinking some. I haven't had a can of Cloudwater beer for, I reckon, a year. See you, Chris, mate. No dramas.
Okay, no worries, man. I
Um,
wonder is my internet laggy your end? Because occasionally I'm getting lag when all three of us are on.
no.
Okay, let me just quickly run a speedy test on the other one. I'm using a new browser, by the way, called Oakler.
Sounds a bit hacky to me.
It's very pimping. I've got all my WhatsApp streamed straight into my browser, so I don't miss any. If you type something on WhatsApp, it'll pop up on the screen over here.
That's good.
Pimped.
Posh boy.
Very posh.
Yeah, Cloudwater beer. I thought they had a really bad 2022 Cloudwater. I had a few bits with Cloudwater. I just thought they had quite a bad year. Oh, no, night then. Come on. Do you want to say night to John?
Night, cutie pie.
No, night, John. You'll blow John a kiss. Mm. Oh, good girl.
Oh, you got me right there. Oh,
And what do you say to the dog poo? Not John.
she's cute, man.
Oh,
Heavy.
she is heavy. She's getting big.
You wait till
Yeah,
they're
but-
13.
To be honest, I've been a bit. I think we talked about it earlier. I talked about it with Chris, and it's like buying confidence in craft beer. Like went down quite a lot over the last 6 months, and I think Cloudwater probably, for me at least, contributed to that. So it's kind of like when your confidence is low, and someone wants you to spend £7 on a or £6 plus on an IPA. It's like, well, no, I'd rather go and buy 2 decent German beers and have £1 left over. So
It's very difficult at the moment, and I think
it's hard.
it is hard. I think craft beer hasn't fully gone away. I think it's going to have to adapt and evolve. And I will say, of all the trades, I think it's one that can do it. But in 2008, when we had the problem with a recession, people still actually had money. They had a lot of money tucked away. It was just they didn't want to spend it. So then things ground to a halt because people weren't spending. So this time we've got big inflation. We didn't necessarily have that bad of inflation, but in 2008, that really birthed craft because people were like, well, I can go out and have a beer, but I can go out and have a beer now at the brewery where they made it and meet the guy that made the beer and have an experience. So it was all about that. And then what we've done, I think we've jumped on that. Everybody's done it. I'm the same. I've done that. That's exactly what I've done. And we've done that so much that now people are in a different position where there isn't the money floating around anymore. And people are like, well, you know what? That craft beer that I was buying, maybe I cut back on that. And I'll buy some supermarket stuff and I'll treat myself occasionally.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm seeing now. And like you say, you get, like, I'm sat here drinking German beer because 1, it's cheap, and 2, I know it's good quality.
No, I'm with you. I think Chris, we were just sort of talking about something we talked about earlier about German beer. And I think if you're looking at quality, it's almost like the car and motorbike scenario. To drive the fastest car and the best quality car on the road, you've got to spend £400,000 to £500,000.
Yeah.
To ride the fastest motorbike on the road, you're spending 50. And I see that with craft beer and German beer. It's a very similar thing with craft beer and German beer. And I like that Iinga. I'll go back to it. That Iinga Jahrhundert beer that I had, the 100th year beer from Iinga that I reviewed recently on the channel. That was genuinely one of the best beers I've ever had. And that cost £3.40.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I knew it would be good. It's from a brewery that's been brewing for 130 years, Iinga.
Yeah. It's a fair point, isn't it? I mean, I love cars, you know, we all do that are on here, but I've also had bikes, and some of the performance that you can get out of a bike, you've got to spend serious money to get that in a car. Okay, you've got the safety aspect, but you're right in what you're saying. It's spot on.
It's just it's probably the most sort of like normal comparison I can sort of think of, really. But yeah, I think craft beer will be back. I just think that it won't be the kind of free for all that it was before for the brewers. I think it was a very brewer dominated industry for a long time. I think the drink has kind of taken control back a little bit recently.
I agree.
And I think craft beer will be back, but it'll be a much more balanced industry.
I think
It's a bit like, I feel like we've had the glory days. It's a bit like British touring car in the 90s. We've just had that bit.
Mm-hmm.
My personal view is I think the successful craft breweries have an amazing core range, like Vocation. We just use Vocation as an example. Their core range is solid, and it stayed consistent, and that's what draws people in. I think a lot of craft breweries joined the bandwagon, didn't have a solid core range, and then just started putting out very type of random type beers. And I will name a brewery, and I don't wish them any illness, you know, I wish them all the success, but the likes of Elusive, they could have had an outstanding core range with their West Coast, but they started doing just crazily silly beers that just weren't good when they had an amazing opportunity to keep a solid core range and build on that, but they moved away from it. Vocation have never moved away from their core range, and they rely on it when their core range gets in supermarkets and still sells, and it gives them more freedom to do the odd different things, especially around this time of year with funky stouts, because their core range is so solid. And I think a lot of craft breweries need to have a solid core range and keep it solid, keep that selling, and then start doing a little bit of special edition type stuff. And I think a lot of them have gone away from that, which is why I think some of them have kind of fallen along the way. Especially at the moment, people want consistency, and core range beers generally aren't overly expensive. But I think too many craft breweries lost their way and disregarded the core range. That's my personal view.
I absolutely agree with that.
I agree with that. I'd even go as far to say, as that is something that we realised. After a few years in, we're like, we've got to make sure the core range stays. And we tweaked it since 2015, but you'd always be able to get Expedition. You can always get Chosen Man. You can always buy the Bandon Car. You can you always get Silver Spur. All the ones that are core that we know work, we know are great beers. Just stick with that. Yeah. The Bandit Car, what a pint! What a pint that is.
It's a great beer. You know, it is a solid beer, Bandon Car, and it's the same with Mad Squirrel, who are a decent craft beer.
They are, yeah.
Brewer. Their core range is still solid, and you can buy their core range pretty much in Costco in a 12-pack.
Yeah, it's
mad, just solid. They just keep that solid core range going. And I think that's what turns them over most of the time. It just keeps them going, is their core range.
I think, like any industry, like people say to me, because I'm an electrician, I've just got my own little company, and people go to me, oh, do you really go and still change sockets and add sockets in bedrooms? I'm like, yeah, because that's my bread and butter. That is the core range of my industry. And if I go and chase the specials all the time, I'll be gone within 6 months. And you can't be too proud. And I think it speaks volumes, and we talked about this before. It speaks volumes that someone like Verdant, who for me, are probably they have to be in every single conversation about top 5 brewers in the UK, and they've been in that conversation for the past 5, 6, 7 years. They are consistently unreal.
Yeah.
It speaks volumes that they're now doing a cask best bitter and a cask British pale ale.
Yeah.
Wow.
And do you know what I mean? These were the guys that they had a core. It wasn't a range as such. They had like a core calendar, didn't they? So you'd always know that like around September, October, People, Money, Space, Time would come out. Light Bulb would generally be around all the time. And there were certain beers from Verdant where you know they'd come out on the calendar at certain dates, like things like Putty, for instance. But the fact that they've actually gone to a core range and cask as well, by the way, this is Verdant, the probably one of the original hop champions in the UK. It's just, and I think you're right, Chris. I think a lot of the brewers, certainly, I think Cloudwater have suffered by not having a core range.
Yeah.
Even then, I think they've gone into a bit of cask recently, Cloudwater.
I feel like their Brewdog thing didn't really do them any favours on the long run.
No,
It took the words right out of my mouth. I think doing what they did with Brewdog was the wrong time for them, and it did them no favours. Those beers
cheapened them, didn't it?
Hammering. Yeah.
It really, really cheapened them, I thought.
Massive.
There was one beer that I drank that range, and there was one beer that they had out of that I really enjoyed. But the rest, I couldn't even remember.
I remember
not being able to drink the non-alcoholic one. It was horrible.
The double dry hot pale they did with like the pink, it had like the pink paint or the pink can thing. That was all right. The others were just like, come on, guys. Come on.
It was like opening a Brewdog beer. You just knew it. Because Brewdog has a certain mouthfeel to it. You can tell they're water. And those Cloudwater beers just all tasted like a Brewdog beer. It did them no favours, which was a real shame because they are a quality brewer. But
they're top drawer.
No favours.
Yeah. I've met the owner of Cloudwater a few times. And
we met him at Beerex, didn't we?
We did, yeah. I thought he wasn't talking to me after I made a comment about him looking like a ginger Tom Selleck on a live stream. But he was saying, he said he read the comment, but he thought it was funny. He was trying to internalise not laughing. So
right, let's get some comments. Sharky says biodiesel. Chris, hello, Chris, mate. Thanks for coming in.
Hi,
Luke
Chris.
John says drunk kart racing. Now there's a thought. It's a good video. It'd be a good video.
Totally
Joey says, can you guys drink and drive the golf carts when playing golf, or is that forbidden here? I have drunk driven a golf cart, and I put it, and I'm not even joking. I stuck it in a ditch. Not even joking. Swear on my daughter's life, that's true. Luke John says, drive whatever on private land and be drunk if it needs be. Yes, absolutely. Horseback riding, bareback riding. Matt Williams, why not just... Joey says, I don't care anymore. It's the last one. I don't care. Joey says, if you must drink and drive, close one eye and stare at the lane markers. Be right back, says you people. Henry says, Joey says, of all the trades, it's the one that can do it, the craft beer industry. Lol, can, because it's in cans. Jimmy C says, I paid €6.75 for a 440ml can of a case of pale.
Case?
That's not bad.
So are you saying that you paid €6.79 for one can or a case of them?
I read that as a case.
So do I, which is seems absolutely unreal.
Is that a 12 or a 24 or 6 or what?
I'm going 24.
Even if it's a 4,
I'm going 24.
Luke John's laughing at Joey. Joey says THC is going to shred the craft beer market alive in a lot of areas. Finding its way into a lot of beer already. People like Canabrew, but I think they've gone now, Canabrew, haven't they?
Are they?
I think I have. I haven't seen anything marketing-wise from Canabrew.
No,
It depends on what you're talking about because you've got THC and then you've got CBD. Now, that CBD's in a lot of products and was in a lot of beers, but THC, you don't get that in the UK.
The actual stuff that gets you a little bit.
Yeah, THC gets you high. CBD is a derivative of the cannabis plant, and CBD has got a lot of health benefits. But THC is what gets you high. So you're not going to get THC in UK beers. You get CBD in UK beers.
Yeah, CBD beers. Yeah,
but you won't.
No, Canabrew is still going.
Oh, they are still going.
You can get them in a Ocado. Hang on a minute, that post was
Randomly.
from where?
All the Ocado stuff like
They're all floating around.
Let's get the can of brewing. Gonna be
Hang on a minute
alright.
though, that was 39 weeks ago. That
You
post.
won't get THC in UK beers unless the percentage is something like 0.0000001%.
Oh dear, their
Tom-
website's gone.
Yeah.
I thought they went.
No way. I like
Research
Elliot.
with Thomas Flynn, who will always be Thomas Stocks to me. Hey all, how you doing, Thomas? Thanks for coming in, mate. Luke says hello to Thomas. Ilkova says, I agree. I think certain COVID isolation-driven behaviours have ebbed away now. Abso-friggin-lutely, mate.
Massively.
Still buy craft beer, but only in pubs or bars now.
Yeah.
I can't think, and I think I said this, John, to you on the phone a couple of days ago. I can't think of the last time I bought beer that was just craft beer. All through the summer, I was Beers of Europe, exclusively Beers of Europe, whether it was going into the store or having it posted out. Recently, it's been Beautiful Beers, and there has been a bit of craft in there. I've got a really interesting looking Verdant double IPA that I'm not going to be drinking right now because I can't taste a thing. But that was mixed in with Eyinger, Augustina, Beer de Namur from Belgium. So. It's. I mean, that's just my habit. But then I'm genuinely like Mr. Average. If someone else does it, I generally do it, and vice versa, sort of thing.
We discussed it the other day, didn't we, Mark? And about craft beers, etc. And I had an order recently from Beers of Europe, and it did have one UK craft beer in it. The rest was all German and Belgian.
It's Brewboard, wasn't it? Brewboard beer.
And at the same time, I was filling up I was on Trembling Madness, who are a fantastic company, and I was putting craft beers in it, loads. And then I got to checkout, and I looked at that list of craft beers, and then I looked at the price, and I thought, I don't know why I'm doing this. Am I doing this just solely to put those on YouTube, or am I doing it because I want them? And I couldn't decide that I wanted them, because I'm just a bit bored of a lot of craft beers. So then I switched to Beers of Europe, and it was 99% German. And I hit the button, and that was that. And I looked at the price difference, and it was for the same amount of beers, the price difference was ridiculous.
I reckon
ridiculous.
Per unit, you're probably talking nearly double.
Yeah.
Do you know, though, this is all to do with tax in the UK. That's
of course it is.
Yeah, but the biggest thing is German beer is imported. Surely there's still some fairly decent taxes on the other side of that.
Yeah, but they're not taxed as heavy in their country.
Yeah, but you've also got the rising cost of ingredients in the UK, which craft brewers are definitely suffering from. Craft brewers in the UK are suffering a huge increase in price of ingredients, whereas in Germany, I don't think the rise in costs when brewing things like lagers or pilsners is as significant. And I think Mark's right. I think they are taxed slightly differently. But the difference in price from my Trembling Madness order that was all craft beer to my Beers of Europe order, which was 99% German beer, it was probably half, if not less. And at the moment, that's where people are going, aren't they? Times are hard. My salary stays the same, and I earn a fairly reasonable salary, so I can afford to treat myself. I'm not flush. Please, people don't think I'm flush. I'm not.
But he's saving for a yacht. That is the problem.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got to look at saving money. We're British. We're tight. You've got to look at saving a few pounds here and there, haven't we?
Oh gosh. Well, that's it. That's it. I my coffers are running low by not working. So I'm going to have to get back to it soon.
Yeah, you are.
But I'm enjoying having a rest. I'll tell you that much.
You deserve a rest, John. You've had a busy time, a stressful time, and you deserve the rest. And you've had a lot going on. You've had a house move as well, and that's stressful. It's stressful for kids and everything else. So you deserve the rest. You've worked your nuts off for the last good few years. So you deserve that rest, mate. Absolutely.
I'll take that, Chris. Thank you very much, sir. Tell my wife. No. Actually, Liz has been good as gold. She hasn't pressured me.
I
She
bet she has.
hasn't moaned at me. She hasn't said anything. She's like, you just do what you need to do. But
With Lydia's quality, Lydia's an absolutely lovely lady, and you know how to make money when you need to. So you'll be all right. I know that.
oh yeah, you don't spend that many years in the motor trade and not know how to hustle a little bit.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah, so I'm excited to what I want to do. You know, the funny bit is, so part of me was like, oh, I never want to sell anything again. I just don't want to do sales. And then as time has gone on, whilst I've been off, I'm like, I do enjoy sales though. When I get that deal, when I start doing well, the only reason I didn't enjoy the sales is because of all the other pressures involved. I'm thinking if I only had to concentrate on that and didn't have to run the whole business, I'd love it. It's great fun.
Yeah.
So now I've started. I've applied for a few little bits and bobs, but also there's a part of me that's like, I quite like to do something really non-technical and just straightforward, and just do something. One of the biggest things is taking work home with me. I'm terrible for taking work home, and then I miss out on loads of stuff with my kids.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's so key.
Yeah, I don't want that full-on stress. I even applied to the Royal Mail to be a postman.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's a great job, but I can't do it because they want me to work on a Sunday, and I can't.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
But I would have loved to do that.
There's some reasonably good careers with Royal Mail. I know they're not the same as they were sort of 20, 30 years ago, but they're still good careers. You know, there's good careers out there with big companies. Yeah, you might have to do a bit, but like you say, not taking work home is massive. And in my work, I've recently changed jobs, and I don't take work home, and the difference in my quality of life is incredible. When I finish work now, it's the first time in 14 years in the job I'm in 14 years where I haven't thought about work when I'm on my days off.
Oh, mate,
that's really good.
That's got to be worth. What was it you said the other day, Mark?
I said to you, I think not taking work home's worth 10 grand a year.
Easy.
100% believe that.
Yeah.
Like if you're on a 40 grand a year job and you're taking work home, I think you could take a 30 grand a year job where it never leaves the office, and you'll be a happier person. You'll be wealthier. You won't be wealthier monetary wise, but you'll be wealthier in your mind and being able to function.
And that's worth so much more. Even Rachel's knows the difference. Even Rachel said to me, you know, you're happier. You're not, you know, she could tell when I was thinking about work on my days off.
Yeah.
And she'd say to me, can you stop thinking about work? I didn't need to say anything, but I'd be thinking, and she knew it. And she'd say, can you please stop thinking about work? And now I don't. And it's incredible.
I remember, obviously, being an electrician, there used to be opportunities to work away. So there was a company I used to work for that used to wire all the Facebook, Google, and maintain all the Facebook, Google offices. And I think there were offices in Amsterdam, and I never actually went out because they go. It's worth saying at this point, I'm not a money motivated person. I'm more like quality of life. So when I started my business, I probably earned the same amount of money as I did before I started my business, but I get so much more time at home, which makes me a wealthier person, if you know what I mean. And they go, do you want to go and work away? And you'd be like, what's it going to be? And they'd be like, oh, it's going to be an extra £100 a day, and you get £20 a day for food. And I'd be like, so if I work 8 hours a day, out of my 24 hours in the day, you're going to pay me 190 quid or whatever I was on the day then. And it's like, then you want to buy the extra 16 hours off of me that I would be at home for 100 quid, 120 quid. Piss off. You got to pay me £300 a day on top of my day wage because it's not worth it.
No, it's not. Quality of life. You know, I've got no issue with
money, and I know people get funny when we talk money, but
yeah, people do, and that's cool, and I understand it, especially when people are struggling. But yeah, quality of life. I'm not money driven.
some people are, and that's fine. If people are money driven, then that's cool. I've got no issues with that. But when you've got a family, you chose to have, we all chose to have a family. So they've got to come first, haven't they? You can't neglect them. They don't thank you for it further down the line. All right, you might have more money, but they're missing out on a lot of love, a lot of family time, a lot of care. And for me, that's just so important. And yeah, like I say, I earn a reasonable wage. I'm not flush by any measures, but my family just have to come first all the time. I chose to have a family, so you've got to put back into it, haven't you? You can't just. I can't rely. I can't be a 70s or 80s dad that just says, "There's the money. I'll slap that on the table. Forget the kids. It's not my responsibility." It is. I chose to have that, and they're my world. They're my absolute world. So quality time is worth so much more. So much more.
No, I'm absolutely with you. That's almost like a priceless thing to me. Neil Long, if you're in, I'm going to drink your Lord Chambray Manhattan beer you got me. Yeah, I think this one's this is a bit special. And if Kurt Gaffer's in still, he would have had this beer in Malta.
What's the ABV on that? That looks like
9%.
Yeah, I was just about to say it looks like a beer that's plus 7%.
Yeah, it's blue now. Proper spicy little girl. This one, Spice Girl. There you go. But yeah, funny, different.
See that in the glass.
I mean, it looks horrendously dirty glass, but yeah.
Looks cherry coloured on the screen.
Oh, it's toasty in here. Toasty, I tell you.
Damn, that's spicy. Oh, that is. Oh my god, the back. Whoa. It's almost got like a coffee-like roastiness to it. And I can't taste much because you probably hear in my voice I've got a cold. Right, let me quickly wrap through the comments because we're quarter of an hour behind. Luke John says, I'll be spending £100 on craft beer as I have for 8 years. My issue is now I can't drink so much. Putting it away for whiskey tours. I do miss the beer. Fair play. Silver Spurs banging, says Henry. Yeah. Matt Williams says craft beer's gone mainstream and they've got to compete with the other mainstream breweries. And unfortunately, the craft quality is hit or miss unless you buy from a reputable outlet. I absolutely agree. Yeah. Thomas Flynn says, what's the goodbye for? Where are you going? I'm just going to go back. I'll do it at the end because I'm not going to go for it. I'm going to call it a day at 7:30 and I'll do like the explanation at the end. Just if you've been in it from the start, you've probably heard it 4 times. Jimmy C says, 1 can. The beer is called A Case of Pale.
1 can.
What?
Ah, there we go. Evening, gent, says Simo. How you doing, Simo?
Simo.
Jimmy C says a cloud water, a case of pale. Mark Jones Gibbon says, Mark, guys, got to go. Have enjoyed this evening. Mark, all the best. As long as you and yours are happy, that is all that matters. Hope everyone stays safe. Hope to catch you soon. Mark Jones Gibbon, thank you so much for supporting the channel for such a long time. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Have a great weekend, mate.
What a good
He's
guy.
probably long gone now. Simo says, not sure if you've spoken about a bit of good news. Alphabet Brewing are back in business. They actually went bust a while ago, but I found an investor. Yeah, it was another brewery. It was I saw this come through. It was someone quite decent. Oh, who was it? Oh,
Not Utopia.
Can't remember, but I was quite surprised. It was the brewery that bought them is that good. I'm surprised they bought Alphabet because I thought the Alphabet beers were terrible. Never had a good one. Luke John Frost says, for me, Tartarus haven't been the same. They've kind of stuck to the core and not been as adventurous. Bring back the 15 and 18%ers. Man. Jimmy C, but just think all that tax money is funding the amazing healthcare system in the UK. Yeah, that's true. Christopher Boys, how you doing? Good evening, gents. Hope you're doing well. We're really good, mate. Thanks for coming in. The healthcare that is crumbling, Jamie. The extra tax now for over 8.5% is just pure greed. Jimmy says it was a tongue-in-cheek comment, Luke John. Luke John said, I've just started an 8-month break. I'm lucky in that I own a company, but the time I've lost to making it to this stage is time I'll never get back. It sustains me, but my 20s, early 30s have now gone. Oh, sorry to hear that, mate.
Well,
it's all about your health, dude.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're doing well. I'm glad you're making positive changes, you know.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it's good to see. You know, we're not getting any younger.
That's the thing. That is the
No.
thing. And like I say, my dad had a massive stroke in the summer, and he's not. I'm like I say, I'm probably like heavier than him. I'm bigger than him now. I would say I'm taller than him for sure. But you just don't know when it's going to happen. He was living a pretty healthy life. He hardly he drank a little bit. Like he's semi-retired, so he was probably he plays darts down the pub once a week, and he'd have like 3 pints and then maybe a couple of bottles over the weekend if they were socialising. But it does creep up on you, and this, yeah, you need. It's just a thing. It's just a thing. I got it, Jamie. I just sort of point out the grid. Joey says, I telework, which is sweet for watching YouTube.
Nice.
Literally a professional YouTube viewer. Mersey says, Crumbly better pull his finger out if he's going to get to you before you go. It's true. He's got 10 minutes. Joey says, 2 Brits, 1 can. Yeah. Mental.
Certainly is. The health's so important. I know that due to my issues, so completely get it. Health's important, family's important, friends are important. That's what counts, and that's why I've been saying in our group chat about we need to have a long weekend away. All of us.
Yes.
We do.
Honestly,
we do.
Because they're the best times, aren't they? YouTube lives are great, but all being together, all sitting around together, nothing beats that. Nothing, which is why I want to get it done this year. And we talk about it, don't we? And it never happens. We need to get on with it. We need to do that.
We do.
And, and that's why I said it. Let's make it a family affair as well, not just us beer. It's got to be families as well. It has to be.
My kids will drive you all crazy.
Your kids are quality.
They're great, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and we'll do it. We'll get that sorted. I think I found a venue or a location, and I think the person that's got the longest drive is probably me. I think for Crummy, I think it's about just over 2 hours. I think for you, John, I worked out it's 2.5 hours. I'm not sure your exact location, Mark, but I think you're in the 2.5 hour mark, and for me it's 3 hours. So it's not a massive drive where I'm looking at where we could all go.
Sounds beautiful.
Yeah, boy, I'd love it. I'd love it. We would have ice cream.
If all else fails, to go back to that pub that we went to, the Epplestown White Horse, that was just like, if all else fails, and maybe that's one for maybe next year, but or a later one if we want to do 2. But yeah, what a place! But that's the best bit of YouTube, though, isn't it? Like when Chris, when finally meet you at John's brewery back in the spring, was it the Maybank holiday?
Might have been. I can't even remember.
That was just epic. That was just like, I don't know. It's just so good to see these people. It
was very surreal walking into Lord's and seeing. Obviously, I'd already met John and already met Paul, but Paul weren't there. But walking in and seeing you and Tom, it was like, this is weird. When you think you're on the screen, but how fantastic it was! And that's been one of the absolute highs of YouTube for me, is the friendships I've made with you guys. And obviously I see Paul fairly regularly because he lives 10 minutes down the road. But what an absolute high to think from, I'll just start up a little beer review channel and then to making amazing friends. What an absolute buzz that is just from YouTube. And that's why we need to do more of the meeting up, because we're all clearly friends. We all get on. So
yeah, absolutely. I don't intend on just disappearing off the face of the earth. I'm just changing what I'm doing. That's all. Just a few tweaks of priorities, and I still want you guys to come up. I've got a bigger house now. I just wish I had an extra bedroom. We were saying this the other day. If we could have bought a 5-bedroom house, it would have been a lot better. But hey ho, we don't have the money. But
it doesn't matter. You've got your own house. That's what matters.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. I love it. I tell you what, I have been very busy doing DIY, and I've got to say, when they put new buildings together, do the workmen not take pride in any of their work? So the cupboard door has started to rub on the door frame, and I thought, that's weird. So I thought, it's the one that goes under the stairs. So today I was like looking, and they're 3 hinge doors, so they're quite decent. But the top hinge is just doesn't seem to. It didn't look right. So anyway, I took it off, and the reason why the door started to bend is because the 3 screws that are holding it in, one is not a screw. It's like the head of a screw that's been pushed in and glued in place, and the other 2 screws are too small for the hole.
Yeah.
So the
And
top
what's
hinge
that
isn't
about?
doing anything.
Why is there no pride in? I don't want to put a dampener on your brand new house, John, but why is there? I follow a guy on YouTube that does surveys on new builds.
The Welsh
Oh,
guy.
Yeah, and he's hilarious.
Absolutely shocking.
That's absolutely shocking. I love it. I love his little. When he calls people tuna melts, I just find that amazing. The wood butcher, the tuna melts.
The
Wood
Winkles
butcher.
Anna.
Yeah, where's the pride gone? What is it that's driving that pride down? Is it
Right,
the
I will
the
say
being
this.
paid, or what is it?
I will say this. I'm a tradesman and I worked for a month on a new build site. I got asked to leave the new build site by the company I was working for because I was too slow.
Yeah,
And
been there.
there was a lot. So basically, the long and short of it is so many people tender for this work that the price gets driven down so low. So when the guy goes on site, they don't have any time to take any pride in their work because they're getting crap. Like I was getting crap about how slow I was. Whereas in a normal setting, if we were doing like a new build, a singular new build or an extension, I was rapid. Well, I say rapid, I was good speed, not fast, but like not fast, but good speed. And it's basically I was clipping, so like along the beam, you take it down to like the apex or the kind of the ashlar bit in the wall, then you'd like run all the cables along there. Then the guy was like, "Nah, that's why you're taking long. You got a meter long. I swear to God, you got a meter long 15 or 16 mil drill bit. Put a cable on one end, javelined it from one point to the other. Perfect shot. It went straight down, literally socket to socket. And he went, just click. He said, one clip that end, one clip this end. And it's diagonally landing across the beam. And I said, well, what if they ever want to board out the loft? Nah, don't worry about that.
Yeah, and
that's the attitude.
It's always been the same. I mean, I've been in my current job 14 years. Before that, I was in another job for 2 years. And before that, I was in flooring for about 10 years. So we're going back quite a while. But even back then, I was doing flooring in new builds. And I'd get given a job. And I'd say, I said, I'll take it on the size of this job. I've got 2.5, 3 days for this. No, you've got to do it in a day. I was like, I can't do that in a day. That's impossible. And they're like, just bodge it down. Just bodge that flooring down and get it done in a day. And I said, I can't do that. I can't bodge a job. So I'd arrive on plot at 6 a.m. in the morning. And this was all over the country. So I was up sometimes at 3 in the morning to get somewhere by 6. And I'd start the job at 6 in the morning and still be there at midnight, 1 in the morning, just to try and do the best job I possibly could in that time scale. But there were other people in the flooring game that'd be in and out in 6 hours.
Yeah,
I can't do that. I cannot bodge a job. I never could. And so I was probably earning peanuts if you break it all down to an hourly rate, just because I wouldn't bodge a job. So it's been the same for 20 plus years. And I just think it's shocking. These are people's houses that they're spending fortunes on.
yeah.
And people are happy to go and
Get
bodge a
this.
job.
My front door, my composite door, is starting to fall apart.
It's horrendous.
The bottom of it, because we were like, it's really cold by the front door, and I thought these doors are well sealed. And our old house, that was a big thing, the drafts. And I was like, oh man, this is going to be so good this winter. And by the front door, it's absolutely freezing. The front door is garbage, absolute cheapest, nastiest crap.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to replace that at some point. And they said, oh no, it's totally sealed. And I said, well, if it's totally sealed, why do we keep getting ladybirds getting through the front door? That means there's a gap somewhere. There has to be a gap, otherwise they wouldn't come in. But the mad thing about this door is these screws, I kid you not, the screws that they put in to hold this hinge, I could hold and snap apart.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Where are they buying those screws from?
Exactly.
I've never seen anything like it. So I swapped the hinges over. I swapped the middle for the top one, and I put some proper decent screws in, and it's perfect now. It fits the door. I'll have to repaint the bit where it's been rubbing on the frame.
It's
But
just this is people's hard-earned money.
It's not a cheap house. It's an expensive house.
Sorry.
And you look at that Welsh guy. I can't remember the name of his firm, but when he shows you the tolerances, how bad the tolerance is out on brickwork, and he says this wall, this brickwork has got to come down. You're like, how can you take that down? Because the house is going to fall down. So I don't know what compensation is paid out or whatever, but it maybe the compensation is still less than what I don't know, but it just seems tragic that people.
There's a bunch of houses that were built probably 50 meters that way, and they originally were started by Newbury Homes, who were like a southern home builder. Then they were bought. Then Newbury either went bust or gave up the site, and then Crafton bought them. Crafton are a local firm to us just south of Norwich. And I think since then Crafton have gone bust. And I'm only saying this. I'm saying this from my perspective, being told what I've been told. So basically, Crafton were like, "We've gone bust, mate. Sorry." And then the NHBC, because obviously all the new home builders. John knows. He's probably been in contact with them.
Yeah,
it's like a guarantee thing. It's the same as like my industry's got the NIC and stuff like that. They don't want to know.
Yeah.
So people are ringing me going, my underfloor heating's never worked, and I'm like, okay, so I'll take the manifold cover off or the control panel cover off, and it'll be they haven't turned the pump switch on. So they've wired the whole thing up. They've gone to the bother of putting all the pipes in the floor, everything. They haven't put the pump switch on. And then there were issues like splits in pipes and all the flooring coming up, all the tiled floor coming up. It's shocking. I'm standing in a home now that was built in 2012, so I've got to be careful what I say because like people in glass houses and everything. But
yeah,
we've had a lot of problems, but
even worse since 2012.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that our back garden's constantly waterlogged.
It's got to go for a week.
Crap drainage. Couldn't be asked to put it in.
But the neighbour's garden is like way worse. They're talking like 3 inches of water when it rains. Whole garden covered. Ours is nothing like that. And actually, building this shed, putting that eco base has helped the world because it channels the water away from the main of.
Yeah, you've almost built a soak away there.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. It's great. So it's working really well.
Let's get some comments.
Do it.
Luke John says 2 weeks into break, I'm already moving house and in the new year and bought another car I can't drive. Neil Long says, haha. Oh, have I frozen? No. Neil Long says, you've cracked open the Manhattan Island. I really have. It's one hell of a beer, this. It's a cocktail-inspired beer from Lord Chambray in Malta, brewed in Malta. Or Gozo, the island of Gozo, to be more precise. You'll never taste a beer like that again. Mate, this is spicy. And it's not spicy as in like hot or herby. It's got like a real peppery coffee. Oh, it's a strange thing. Look at the sediment at the bottom as well. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, yeah. It's got
different beer
in there.
Mersey Beer says, Mark, are you doing Beer X? I can probably safely say, Mersey, now it's all in the open. I won't be doing Beer X, mate. I love Beer X nearly 2 years ago. It was the first time I'd ever done like a proper YouTubey thing. It was flipping brilliant. But no, got to spend some more time at home, mate. Neil Long says, you'll never taste a beer like that again. It's true. This is a different thing. I've never had anything like this before. Neil, Kurt Gaffer was in earlier, if you're still watching, and if Kurt's in.
It was.
Joey says, Lord's was a fun visit. Feels like a movie set that opens up. It's true. When I went into the Lord's bar and even Crummy's studio, it was like, oh my God, this is a bit weird.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
You kind of take 15 minutes to acclimatise yourself. It's funny. Joey says, having your own house is sweet. It really is. And John's got a beautiful, beautiful home. Neil Long says, could be Lord Chambray answer to Lord's beer that John hated. Oh, the log jam.
Oh my
No, I
Lord.
don't. I never tasted log jam, but I don't think this is log jam worthy. Crummy
Oh,
says,
my
I'm
Lord.
working on it, Mersey. How long have I got? Crummy, I'll go on till probably 1:45 now. Luke John says, 2 minutes, Crumb. Joey says, we need more speed in the beer review industry, like finish the pint in 45 seconds. Mate, that was me in Dublin 2 weekends ago. That Guinness in Dublin, I'm not joking. That is another thing. I've never been a Guinness fan, but I didn't know Guinness could be that good. Mental. Crummy says, everyone insists that he stays on. Yeah, 15 minutes. You've got that. Luke John says,
Come on,
can't leave
Crummy.
him waiting, Crummy. He's getting on it, you know. Getting on, you know, sorry. No, I am. I'm 35 now, mate. I'll be 40 in a blink of an eye. Crummy says, I'll be there in 15. Where the mic will be, who knows? If we super chat £300 a piece, I bet he would stay until 3 in the morning. Do you want to try it?
Yeah.
Mersey says, buy cheap, buy twice. Abso-friggin-lutely.
Yeah.
True.
Luke John says, Mark checked out at 5:10, Crummy. I was home by 5:10, mate. Get him a pint of Pringles to sober up. Never live that one
Buy
down.
Pringles.
If you're in here, please give the stream a like. That'd be amazing. Henry saying hello to Neil. Oh, new one. Just cracked a Stella Artois Beer Deluxe.
Mm.
What's that?
Maybe he just likes to call it beer deluxe.
Is it the unfiltered version? He's going, we have the Beer Deluxe.
Do you think we'll ever see deluxe on the back of a car again? I feel like it's just getting to that point where it could be retro fashionable.
I don't think you
Bring
will.
back a GLX or a deluxe or
Yeah, whatever happened to the likes of GLS and GE and where did that all stop? When L were a very, very limited. It's all stopped, isn't it?
yeah, you don't see it anymore.
No.
We used to get in cars and we used to call them. We used to, like, in the motor trade. So, especially working for Chrysler, if you had a limited, it was always full of leather. But if you had a Laredo, that would be like all cloth. And we used to call them poverty spec.
Yep.
So if you had one and it was like no leather, manual, like, or for the Americans watching, stick, we'd say, oh, it's a poverty spec one, which means it's got nothing.
I had a Mark II Fiesta, and that was so basic. It only had one wing mirror. It just had a
I remember that.
wing mirror.
One wing mirror.
Yeah.
One wing mirror.
Yeah.
I don't even think it might have been called a popular, but it might not have even called anything. I think it was just called the Fiesta Bogo. One wing mirror. That's all it had from standard.
No rev counter. Never got a rev counter.
No rev counter. The glove box didn't have a door on it. It was just.
Oh wow, that was
so basic.
Bare bones.
But naturally, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Freedom, innit? That first car, freedom, is amazing.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
My first car was a 1996 Renault Clio. It was the 1.4 litre RT, and the RT meant you got
bits.
I had a sunroof.
Yeah.
I had volume controls on the steering wheel. No, electric.
Wow.
Electric sunroof, volume controls on the steering wheel. It had the seats were like, you sat in the seats, and it was almost a seat where it was almost like the seat where I'll come here, you just give you a big cuddle. What else did it have? It had
alloys.
It had alloys. It had sprayed bumper colours.
Fogs.
It was
front fog lights.
Front fogs. Yep, front fogs. Because I got nicked for having them on because I used to like having the fogs on, even if I had my.
Yeah,
it was like
side lights on, fogs on. I still do it in the van.
Even if I had the side lights on in the car at like 6 o'clock at night when it's getting a bit dark, I'd have the fogs on, glaring everyone out.
I can't stand fog light wankers. I hate.
I want a fog light.
That's me.
I can't stand it.
Crummy is here, but he's not here.
Oh, okay. He's on his
And it looks like on the top shelf, he's got lots of models of Crummy when he's 80 at Christmas.
Oh. Unique.
Yep, he's sitting down. Or no, he's standing up.
Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Are those gonks? Crummy, are those gonks?
They are, yes, and apologies to. I think it's Mersey who has a real hatred of them, but they're out of the way. They're in the background, so you should be safe.
Oh, there's loads of donks in my house, Tom. Loads of donks. Loads of them. They're everywhere. I like them, to be fair.
Yeah, I think they look quite cool. I like them. They sit nicely on the whiskey bottles.
Oh, is that what they're sitting on? Are they?
Yeah.
What was your first car, Tom?
Vauxhall Corsa B.
Oof.
Nasty.
That
A
was
B?
that did nothing that a car should do. That one didn't go in a straight line, didn't go around a corner. It was just terrible all around.
Vauxhall
Yeah, you
Corsa
see-
B.
I had a,
Second gen.
I loved my Vauxhall Nova, which obviously came before the Corsa. My little 1.2 Nova Merit. Oh my god, that was a great little car. Yeah, Nova Merit. It was a cracking little car. It never let me down, to be fair.
I never
loved
forget
it.
about those Novas. The steering wheel was at an angle.
Oh, it was, yeah,
And it's the other
massively.
way.
And you
Really,
could tell.
really.
You could tell on the driver's seat the wear on the driver's seat because you had to sit kind of slightly opposite. And I longed for a Nova GTE, but I just couldn't afford one. So I had a Nova 1.2 Merit, and it was
Yeah, the
cracking.
GSI Nova.
Yeah, well, the GSI came after the GTE, didn't it? But yeah, I longed for a GTE, but yeah, couldn't afford it. But my little 1.2 Merit, cracking.
What a car. I have the most random first car anybody could have ever had. I had a
God.
Volvo 360
Oh,
GLE
yes.
SE Saloon.
Oh, saloon as well.
Yeah, so I had leather seats, electric windows, aircon. I had
Wow.
a 2-litre, and it was quick actually. It went well, but the gearbox was in the back, engine in the front, rear wheel drive. You could drift that bad boy,
Yeah.
no problem, unless you had if you had arms like a gorilla, because it had no power steering.
No,
A Volvo what? I'm trying to search it.
360
GLE.
GLE
Saloon.
SE Saloon. And it was
Saloon's
like
rare.
a metallic blue color,
Saloon's
heck.
rare.
and it was quick. So I lowered it. I had to flip the
That
That's the one.
Yeah, baby.
I had
looks like an
to.
Opel Vectra.
A car.
It had leaf springs at the back, so I had to take the leaf springs off and put the drive shafts the other side and put blocks in to lower the back down, and then I chopped it, and then at the front, and I put wolf race wheels on it. It looked quite smart. And my mate worked for a company that did graphics, and they made a sticker on the back, and it because the 850 T5 had come out, and the police had those.
Yeah.
So mine had 360 T5 snail written on the back of it. It was great. I loved that car. It had a really unique smell as well. I can still remember what it smelled like.
Yeah.
Was that smell unique when you acquired it or after you'd had it for a while?
No, when I bought it, it's just like the leather. So it had been owned by an old person before. Then my mum had it, and then I bought it off my parents. And I had it for the whopping amount of time of 4 months. And I wrote it off going through roadworks and hit a dumper truck after taking about 50 yards of hedgerow down.
Well done.
Yeah, and then I bought an Escort combi van after that, a Mark IV combi, and with a 1660 in it.
Yeah.
That went well.
Brilliant. They were great cars, those old Volvos.
They were good.
Yeah, they were incredible. Here's a question. What's the car I know mine, but what's the car that you've had that you regret selling the most?
Yeah, my Subaru Legacy 3.3 litre R estate sport touring estate, 2006.
That's a nice car.
It was like a gunmetal grey silver. It had only done about 63,000 when I sold it as well. It was. I know who to blame. It's Jason Plato, because Jason Plato took out a Mini Cooper John Cooper Works out on track. Were they on the Isle of Skye or somewhere? Tom, you might know. There's a track that Fifth Gear used to use that was on
Yeah. Anglesey.
Was it Anglesey?
Yeah, Anglesey.
Oh,
It's always
Okay,
raining.
so sorry, a bit further north than I thought, but a bit further south than I thought. Sorry, but yeah, they went out there and they done that, and he was like, "Oh my god, this John Cooper, it's like the best car in the world." And I was like, "Right, I'm buying one." And then at the time, I had to sell my 3-litre Subaru to get it, and yeah,
What year?
the rest
What year?
is history.
What year was that? As in what year? car?
The Cooper was a 2009.
Okay.
So
They
is
were
that an
good. to be fair.
R32 or R34, whatever they call it?
Yeah, I passed my test in a Cooper standard, not the entry level one, but yeah, the one up.
Yeah, because you get the Mini One, don't you? The Mini One's the entry level.
Yeah, they were good.
But that John Cooper works. That was a joke. That car was like 200 on horsepower.
Yeah.
It was like it was
that would have been the Pentagon engine as well, wasn't it? So it was the supercharged one, not the turbo.
This one was a turbo. It was the Peugeot engine.
Oh right, okay. I like the earlier one with the supercharged.
What the ones that it makes me laugh when you hear someone like parallel park in one of them old minis because it kind of goes.
So the mad bit is that engine was in the Chrysler Neon, and a lot of the platform from the Mini comes from the Neon.
Was it really?
So and everyone's
I wouldn't have bought one if you'd have knew that.
They were like, "Oh, I love the Mini. It's amazing." And I'm thinking, this Chrysler Neon RT is the same car, just a bit longer. I don't understand. But hey, I'd love to get my hands on one of them. You know, if I could get, I've always fancied a Chrysler Neon RT.
I've only ever seen one Neon in the UK, and it was on it used to be someone owned it on a paper round they did when I was 15.
Yeah, the RT one was pretty good.
Around here,
Neon, it was awful.
Was it the first one with the round headlights, or was it the?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, the first one was.
It was dreadful.
Yeah,
Dreadful.
had pillarless doors though.
It was still dreadful.
Yeah, it was dreadful. Yeah.
around here you get some good American stuff because we've got the 2 American air bases.
Yeah.
So you start getting towards Thetford, and all of a sudden, some like 25-litre V65 Dodge Charger will go by you, going on the A11. You're like, bloody hell, what the hell's that? Sounds like a helicopter.
There's 2 cars that I wish I'd never sold. 3 actually. 3 cars. So the first one, I had a BMW E21 race car. So I had the fiberglass bonnet, the boot, had the roll cage, fire extinguisher, the full thing, dogleg box, 2.3 bored out, and stroked. So it was like 2.7-ish. Slip diff in it, coilovers, adjustable coilovers everywhere. All the brake lines were inside. It had a fuel cell in the boot. I came across it because it had been on its side. And I worked for a breakers at the time, and I bought a shell and I reshelled it. And I sold the car for, are you ready for this?
Don't.
1,500 quid.
Oh.
I can better that.
And then, so that's one that I wish I'd never sold. The other one was I had an 850R Volvo, a black one.
Ooh.
The only thing about that is it was an auto, and I wish it was a manual, but that car was awesome. It was a black one, and it was also a saloon, which I preferred to the estate. So yeah, all black with the grey wheels that I kept breaking all the time because of the potholes. If you Google my name and put in Kirkley's potholes, you'll find me with my car. And then the only other one I wish I'd never sold was a little black Porsche 944 that I bought. And I've painted a red one black here because that was the car that I took Lydia on our first ever sort of unofficial date. And I sold the car for, I think that was another 1,500 quid.
That was scary. You said her name and she appeared in the comments.
I saw this in the comments.
Hello, darling. What are you doing down there?
She heard Black 944 and she was summoned from the clouds. It was brilliant.
I'm telling you, I need another one.
Oh, the 944 was a great car.
Did you do a beer about that, John?
I did. Called First Date.
Oh, it was called First Date, yeah.
Yeah, Kolsch.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
on
the
my,
Kolsch, that's it.
it's on my wall right now. I've kept the artwork from the Kolsch. It's a black 944, and on the artwork, I'm looking at it right now. The bonnet is up with some yellow like smoke coming out. On that
It's
artwork.
because on our first date, she revved the nuts off it so much that the top hose popped off
the car?
the radiator. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, car. Right.
Yeah.
John, before you get yourself into too much trouble, it's not Lydia in the comments. It's one of your children. So. Just be
Oh, hello, Bobby. What are you doing? If you look on the label, you'll see a blue BMW E34 just in shot. That was the second car she drove. So I was trading cars at the time. So I broke that one. She broke that one, and we rescued it with the BMW 525i E34. Another great car, manual, slip diff. Can you imagine what that's worth now?
Manuel.
A friend of mine.
Toby, are you home now?
The kid's gone.
I don't know if they're home or if they're still at their Christmas party or something.
A friend of mine had a Porsche 928 GTS, and that was an incredible car. That I had the luxury of. It was so mint, his car. He did magazine like features, so I got to drive that round a track, and that was a beast.
Wow.
I was conservative because it wasn't my car, and then I got in with the guy that owned the car, and he said, "I'm really going to thump it around this track. I'm going to give it plenty beans." Threw it off the track, absolutely threw it off the track. I was in the passenger seat as we were spinning across the grass. It didn't do any major damage, to be fair, but what a car that was! The Porsche 928 GTS. Oh,
50-50 weight and made of aluminium.
oh,
Kobe,
it was incredible.
tell these guys a joke. It says he's in the car. There's a photo.
An
Chris.
Indy car. I love to see that.
There's a photo, Chris, of the Porsche 928 when they developed it, and the frame is so light. There's a picture of a man, and he's got like seatbelt straps over him, and he's stood up through the sunroof, and the whole weight of the body is on him. That's how light they were.
Yeah.
Wicked car.
The car I regret selling the most, if we go back to that question.
Yeah.
You guys know this. I think I've discussed it with you before. I sold it just over, about 19 years ago. It was my Toyota Supra. It was an F-Reg.
Ooh.
It was F411 NUF was the
Is that
reg.
the old Supra?
Oh, pop-up headlights. It
Yeah,
wasn't
the wedge one.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Celica Supra, because the Celica Supra is an incredible car, but I had the Supra. It wasn't the turbo; it was the 3-litre injection, and that car was stunning. It had just as much technology in it then as a lot of modern cars do now. It was phenomenal. I loved it. I sold it. You're not going to like this. I sold it 19 years ago. Oh, the value of them now is ridiculous. I sold it for 600 quid.
Oh,
The value of those.
Just don't look at what it's worth now. Just don't.
I'm
look.
looking. I'm literally looking now.
Don't look.
If you find a mint one now, you're looking at 10 grand plus.
14,995.
Oh, it was a stunning car, and the only reason I sold it was because I had my son, and the back seats just weren't good enough for a car seat. And every now and then, even now, my son's 19. Even now and then, I say to him, "I fucking sold the best car of my life because of you." That car was phenomenal. It went all over the UK. It was so quiet as well. You could just get out with it, leave the engine running, and barely know. But when you put your foot down, the sound it made.
Hey, it's all, Chris. It's all right. It's all right, Chris. There is one for sale now for 12 grand. You could just pick it up. No, 12,000.
And I sold it for £600.
Oh, sorry, not 12,000. 12,950, and that's the 3-litre injection. Same as yours on the 1990 plate.
When those pop-up headlights came up, they just made you a bit moist. It was just.
Sorry, don't you mean Do you mean if those pop-up headlights came up?
Oh, they always came. It's Toyota. Everything worked all the time. And the funny thing was, when I had that, my friend had a Toyota Celica on a F-Reg. The Celica that had the pop-up headlights. Our other friend had the original Mark 1 Toyota MR2. Oh, great times. Absolutely great times. And a full leather interior, full proper climate control, not just aircon, but climate control. Ah, what a beast. Overdrive. Oh, it was stunning, that car. The funny thing is, I swapped a motorbike for that car. I had a Honda VFR 400 NC30, which also are now worth mega money. And I swapped it. So, and that bike was fantastic. But swapping it for that Supra, oh, I miss it. I miss it so much. As you can tell.
Well, this one in here on eBay hasn't even got leather seats. It's got velour. And it's they're mad money, man.
Well, they are silly money.
Right.
19 years ago, there was no value in them, none whatsoever.
What's everyone drinking? We've not had a beer update since I joined. What's happening on that
One
front?
second, guys.
I've only got half a beer left. That's it. I'm done.
I am on one of Mad Squirrel's core range for Roadkill, New England IPA.
Very
This
nice.
Squirrel's core range is so good.
Excellent.
Almost got.
Yeah, fair. Anyone tried this yet? I know you love the brand, Chris.
I like that espresso martini. I do like that.
It's very for a supermarket stout. That is a pleasant surprise.
It's all right, isn't it? I did a.
That hasn't been said for a long time.
I know.
I did a side by side of that on my channel. I did a side by side of Wiper and True Espresso Martini versus Brewdog Grind. Both, even for Brewdog, their grind is a fairly decent stout. Yeah,
if you can trust Brewdog to brew anything, it's a stout. I think they do really good stouts in general.
They do carry on with stouts. They are good. And I think, bearing in mind this is Mark's last video, and his family probably know it's his last video, I'm sure we could persuade you to keep going a little bit longer.
I was literally about to wrap it up. I've got to have dinner with it. My friend George, his mum's just opening a new pub about 10 minutes away. So
George all the time.
Gonna go over there and
just keep staring at him and don't let him leave. Just watch him.
Guys, probably on that note, I probably will wrap it up for the last time. Anyone that's watched, anyone that's come on the stream, obviously it's fitting to have you three guys here. John from Nerd in Motion now, Tom from the Crummy Beard, and Chris from Chris's Beer Reviews. We're only missing Paul from Paul's Beer Reviews, but he's working tonight. But honestly, if you've watched the streams, if you've watched the videos, if you've liked anything, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. YouTube's held some great memories for me. I won't be gone. Obviously, these guys will do lives. I'm sure I'll be visiting a live or two, but certainly from this channel, as you know it now, it's game over. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't bother liking or subscribing. I won't see you on the next one. Guys, do you want to say anything? Or
I've just discussed it in my son's joke.
Yes, I'd like to say something. So I'll say something. I'm sure Tom and John will say this very, very similar, but I'll go first because I'm greedy.
You go for it. Sexy
Mark, it's been a pleasure to meet you. You're a fantastic beer reviewer, absolutely outstanding beer reviewer. I don't watch many beer reviews. We've discussed this recently, but every now and then I would watch yours. But meeting you has been a highlight, an absolute highlight. And I know we will continue to be friends, and hopefully we'll meet up this year as well. You're an absolute gent, Mark. Absolute gent.
you.
Love you loads.
Cheers, mate. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm gonna make it less soppy, and just emphasise that this is actually Mark going to be kind of unveiled in his true form, which will likely be stood in a car park. And that's what he loves more than anything else.
It's true.
The chance of that happening is increased now, and we should all be very happy for him.
Somewhere Sharky's doing loops, I'm sure.
He is absolutely ecstatic by that possibility.
I want to say you're a good friend, Mark. I don't think this will be the end of it. I feel like you know it now how to build YouTube, and I think you'll do it because you want to do it, and it's a bit of fun. And I think you're a legend, mate. You're a good friend, and I've had a bit of a weird time, and you've checked up on me, and it's a measure of a true man. When the chips are down, you look after the people around you, and there's not many like you. So
thank you, mate.
Yeah, I love you, dude.
Thank you, and I love you too. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much, guys. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Nerd in Motion channel, Crummy Beard, and the Chris's Beer Reviews channel. I will see you very soon, someplace, just not here. Cheers, guys.